weekend, so we won't even really get in there on Saturday or Sunday to even have a practice. So a little bit out of the ordinary for sure, but it'll give the guys a good opportunity. They'll have to go to class all day on Monday and then go straight from class to shoot around. 8 years I've done college, I've never experienced an exhibition game during a week. It'll be a good learning experience for me as well.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
So I can't remember the last time that there's been this much excitement and conversation surrounding an Arkansas basketball exhibition game. But that's what we have in front of us tonight. Rogers State in Bud Walton Arena. Airtime beginning at 6:30. We'll have it right for you here on ESPN Arkansas. A lot to discuss. You got Auburn this week. Hadn't won there since 2012. We're going to find out about the Liberty game time later on. Cowboys and Chiefs win this weekend. Dak Prescott back for the first time since week number 1. Plus, we finally know the two teams that will be competing for the 2022 World Series. That's the Philadelphia Phillies and the Houston Astros, who are undefeated in the postseason.
Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and always a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. The reason, Ty, you can't remember having this much excitement for an exhibition game, because I don't think it's happened, certainly in your lifetime. Maybe some of those athletes in action or some of those international teams way back in Nolan's days. But, I mean, there hasn't been, like you said, this much conversation, this much talk. I'll be interested to see if the crowd follows the conversation tonight. And, you know, there's not going to be 20,000 there, but they've opened this thing up where the public can pretty much attend, and they want everybody in the lower bowl. Will there be 10,000 there tonight? I think that'd be a great number for an exhibition game.
A Monday night, the Monday night football game is Pats and the Bears, so it's not like it's the Chiefs or the Cowboys that are competing tonight. So I don't think that's a game that'll keep people home on Monday night. I know there's is ninth graders football play on? Is that Monday night? It's been a while since I've...
Depends on where you're at, but yes.
Okay.
That's...
So you still have some kiddos that might be competing or be on the cheerleading team or in the band or whatever, but I think there's a lot of people that will go tonight. And you also, I don't know how many people will make the trek down to Austin, Texas for the game in the Moody Center, the new Moody Center this weekend, but I'm genuinely excited. I went back and watched Eric Musselman's press conference from Friday last night, and I can tell he's gassed up, ready to go, as is this basketball team. They just want to play. At a certain point, you get sick and tired of playing your teammates in practice. And I know they got a chance to go on the Euro trip earlier this year, but this is a game inside of their arena before they travel to Austin. I think this team is ready to go.
Well, we're going to find out a lot. You know, last year the East Central University, similar level of play, both Division II teams, came in here, and you didn't think it would be much of a game. Arkansas would win 30 or 40 and just pick a number somewhere in that neighborhood, and Arkansas struggled to win that basketball game. You'd like to think this team has elevated its launching pad for this year with the recruiting class they had out of high school, but they're still freshmen. These aren't the brightest lights by any means. In fact, these will be the dimmest college lights in an actual game they'll play under, but how do they respond to a crowd that for many of them, in fact, I'd say just about anyone other than the two returners on this team, I don't know how many crowds they played in front of larger if you have 10,000 there tonight. Certainly not very many high school games have 10,000. Even the summer games don't draw anywhere near that. So for some, this will be the largest crowd. For most on this team tonight, will be the largest crowd they've ever played in front of.
I was thinking that same thing. And they hear about Bud Walton Arena. I know Nick, Jordan, and others got a chance, Barry, and these guys got a chance to watch games inside of Bud Walton Arena on their recruiting visits, but it's different when you actually play, and this will be nowhere near the atmosphere that they'll see in conference play when some better teams come in here, but this is, as Tommy just said, their first introduction. And with the exception of Devo and Kamani, the first time that many of these young guys, and transfers for that matter, these transfers, I don't know what Arizona State's capacity is for Jalen Graham. I don't know what Ricky Councils is for Wichita State and some of the other guys, but it's not Bud Walton Arena. None of them have played in an arena like they're going to play to starting tonight.
This will be our one chance to bring you a game in the exhibition portion, the two games on the radio. So Chuck and Z will be along tonight. We'll have pregame at, 6:30, tip-off just after 7 tonight from Bud Walton, so you can hear the games. If you are out or for whatever reason, you can hear the game right here tonight where you're listening on the radio now and at hitthatline.com.
No TV tonight? Oh, we already got a text from Nate. Is there SEC Network Plus?
I don't believe there's any.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
I didn't see anything either. People were asking me about that, but I do not think that's the case. So this is one of the few times that it will be solely on the radio, or if you can go in attendance for that. We'll get verification on that. I had not seen an announcement about anything streaming-wise, so I just assumed it was just going to be on radio. But I think that with the idea of it being free and them giving away tickets at the red-white game and stuff, I think for fans, as we've talked about in Barnhill Arena back in the day, that weren't able to go to any game because the season tickets were like grabbed immediately before the season. For those that don't have season tickets and that won't be able to afford the high prices of some of the gouging that you'll see later on, this would be the day to attend a game inside of Bud Walton Arena.
There's no listing on the schedule at ArkansasRazorbacks.com for SEC Network Plus like there is for the season opener for North Dakota State. So game notes on this don't come out till later today, but my guess is there is none.
It sure seemed like through the grapevine that they were not going to play this game anywhere on television. So, again, it'll be right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I know Chuck and I know Z particularly is really excited to get back in the radio booth for this game. It's kind of unique as we're overlapping between basketball and Arkansas football. We're going to have that. Again, we've got the overlap of the World Series in addition to National Football League and college football. October is a great year for sports, and with everything going on this week with the excitement for Arkansas basketball, the bye week's just coming off for Arkansas football, so you're ready to see them play the Tigers in Jordan Hare. This is a great week for Arkansas sports.
No, it was a fun weekend to watch some SEC games. Wasn't the best slate, but there was a couple of entertaining games in the SEC. I'm ready to get back in kind of the rhythm. It's nice to have a weekend off to catch up on some stuff, but same time, I like playing. I like watching our team play. So headed down on the plains this week. Should be a fun trip down there, and you feel like you got a really good chance to win this week at Auburn. Just got to go take care of business.
I was actually talking to an Auburn fan at the Kendrick Fincher Gala on Saturday night, and he was kind of explaining just the various things to do down there and just the atmosphere and the fan reception and stuff. It kind of got me even more excited to be down there starting on Thursday.
Yeah, Auburn's coming off their bye, so you got two rested teams. A lot of questions about Arkansas's personnel. Maybe we'll get some answers a little bit later on today when Sam Pittman visits with the media. But defensively, who will be making the trip and who's going to be ready to play? Who actually wants to go and play this week and make a difference? There's a lot of questions on the defensive side that need to be answered heading into this week because you got five winnable ball games, but 5 very tough ball games, including Liberty, all coming up. Hey, if you're heading out to do some crappie fishing, right now, you might want to take along the number one brand for the Pradco company that's made right here in Arkansas. That's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. Out of the 20 different brands they make, Bobby Garland Baby Shad's number one. They make them by the millions in their facility here in Arkansas. It's the number one soft plastic crappie lure in the United States. You can fish it on a light jig head or underneath the float. You'll find it to be as productive as live bait. So if you want to mess a crappie, hey, get the Bobby Garland Baby Shad on board with you. You can find it at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. It's the Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
So a lot to get to when we come back. I want to talk more about these SEC games that we did see this weekend. How about the LSU Tigers down early in that football game to Ole Miss? I thought Ole Miss was just going to run them over. But that LSU defense stood tall. Jane Daniels got going, and then the Baton Rouge crowd took over in Death Valley. We'll get to that when we come back on A Hot Take Monday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Jefferson gives it to Sanders, straight ahead, fighting for the goal line. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Start every Saturday with Arkansas Game Day 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light.
You know, I got to be honest, I thought LSU was going to be a pushover this year. But if you look back at that Florida State game, an extra point away, we might have a completely different conversation about Brian Kelly's Tigers. They demolished Ole Miss in the second half. I want to talk about that and some other SEC games that we saw this weekend coming up in just a sec.
Hey, before we dive into football, I want to remind you, Eric Musselman Live returns to the radio here in the next couple of weeks. It'll be live from Sassy's. They're going to have part of the shows at the original Red House, part of the shows at Barbecue and Grill. You can stop in today for great lunch. The smoked wings are always sometimes a great appetizer if you got a crew, but I like them for an entire, just use that as your entree. Just order that and then get the side of your choice. I know the seasoned waffle fries are a favorite. They got a lengthy list of side items. The sweet potato tots are just awesome. I think they're the best on the sides menu, but you can decide for yourself. You can try the wings. Their brisket's great. Their ribs are great. They got burgers and catfish on the menu, so there is something for everyone at either location. I know it's a little wet today and probably going to be raining into tomorrow, but it's great patio season right now. They have a wonderful outdoor dining area at both locations as well. That's Sassy's original Red House on North College, Sassy's Barbecue and Grill on Steamboat just off the Weddington exit. Get ready for Eric Musselman Live, returning soon to Sassy's.
This is from Jimbo in Stamps. He thinks that LSU's the most improved team that he's seen all year. That is a good team. Hats off to Brian Kelly. If you didn't get a chance to watch Ole Miss and LSU down there in the Bayou, here's what happened. Ole Miss got up to a hot start. I think it was 17-0, and then Jaden Daniels, that offense, and got going, and the LSU defense put the clamps down on Lane Kiffin. It was quite a second-half performance for the Tigers, and man, it just it changed in a hurry for LSU.
Yeah, LSU trailed, as you said, 20-3 early. Then Ole Miss LSU outscores Ole Miss 42-3 to close the ball game. So I mean, it was I don't know if you credit that to adjustments, just getting rolling. But as we were talking about Friday, you don't just walk in. I don't care what your ranking is. I don't care how many yards you've put up, how dynamic your offense has been, like Ole Miss's. You don't just roll in to Baton Rouge and get a win. And LSU, once again, even with a new coach, even with a roster, they're getting settled out. LSU showed why it's tough. And to me, what it does is it also makes what Tennessee did 2 weeks ago even more impressive. Tennessee didn't let us down either this weekend. And I know they were playing UT Martin. I thought, well, they'll kind of mess around, be a little sluggish after that big win in the first quarter. I turned the game on a little bit late, and it was like 52-7 or something like that before halftime. They'd put up over 50. So, I mean, Tennessee is I'm more and more and more a believer, not just because they beat Bama, but because even in the games like UT Martin this weekend, they're doing everything right.
If you're Jalen Hyatt and Hendon Hooker, that's a game that you can pad your stats a little bit, which is exactly what both those guys did. And we've talked about Hendon being a huge Heisman candidate, which he's going to be by season's end. But I think Jalen Hyatt, as his stats continue to flourish, he's going to be there as well. Now, down in Tuscaloosa, Alabama slaughtered Mississippi State. It was a defensive performance. Not that Bryce Young and Jahmyr Gibbs and the guys on offense didn't perform, but a performance where Alabama just shut Mike Leach down. Mississippi State, not the same team on the road. And I know teams are a little different on the road relative to how they play at home, but Mississippi State is a shell of itself when it goes on the road to an opposing venue. They had a lot of times where they were moving the ball. I just couldn't get anything going on fourth down. They get stoned on fourth down, a couple different situations were that. So really frustrating day for Mike Leach, and he had some interest. Did you hear? There was two comments he had, and we've got both of them queued up. Did you hear either the dinosaur or the "we're scared of the Alabama jersey" comment?
It looked like they were scared of Bryce Young's jersey as much time as he had in the pocket. One time, 10 seconds. Not just on the highlight. I'm watching this game, and I'm like, are they ever going to lay a hand on him? If this is flag football, you'd be exhausted by the time they got to Bryce Young.
Yeah, he was. Bryce Young is one of the more difficult quarterbacks, even though he's small. He's just so slithery back there in the pocket. But here's what Leach had to say when it comes to the Alabama jersey that his players apparently fear.
I'll tell you one thing that they do that gives us trouble. We've got some guys that are afraid of the jersey that says Alabama on it. We spend a lot of time frightened of their jerseys. You want to scare some of the guys on our team, put an Alabama jersey on, it'll scare the hell out of them.
A lot of teams don't have success against Nick Saban. Leach now 0-3 in his time here in Starkville, but they've been kind of frustrating losses for State fans because you're like, oh, we got Will Rogers, a good quarterback that can maybe throw it over the yard. Nope, not against this defense in this stadium.
Well, Alabama was trying to make a statement after what happened the week prior, and you talking about how slithery. Young, I don't know how much of this game you got to see because I know you were at the Kendrick Fincher of Gala as this game was going on, but they weren't even getting a hand on him. It wasn't about being slithery. I mean, it was just about it wasn't like KJ out at BYU where he was eluding sure tackles. They couldn't get close to him. And credit the offensive line for not slipping downfield and creating a situation where you either had to run or it would have been a penalty. And eventually, it was the same thing Arkansas tried to do. They were dropping 8, rushing with 3. No one could get near him, and eventually wide receivers just broke open. And that happened several times in the game, but Alabama just flexed. That's all they did. And they essentially won this game 30-0. But it was, I know the final score was 30-6. They didn't kick the extra point. It was Mississippi State's first touchdown in Tuscaloosa in 8 years. So for the last 4 ball games, They haven't even scored a touchdown. They put the graphic up at the end. It was like 129-9 over the last 4 meetings in Tuscaloosa. Something along those lines. So State's had no luck at all there, regardless of coach, regardless of quarterback. The last time they had success there, a guy named Dak Prescott was the quarterback. They didn't win.
They still lost.
They lost, but they at least got some touchdowns on the board.
Yeah. Last thing, and this is not an SEC team, but Levi in Southwest Arkansas asking us about Liberty. I thought there was a chance they could be ranked in the AP poll. They smashed BYU over the weekend. That game that a lot of people were thinking, oh, maybe it'll be somewhat of an easier game. Doesn't look like it when they come to Fayetteville next weekend.
No, and no one's even thought really from the get-go this was going to be easy. In fact, the only game people thought might be a walk was Missouri State, and we saw how that game turned out. So it looks to me like Arkansas is going to have 12 tussles. 12 real tussles this year on their schedule. So not going to be easy. Brought to you by World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH is the number to call Ben and his crew. You can call WOW now, be installed before this weekend. So, hey, particularly if you're going to hunting camp, if you're going to deer camp in the next few weeks, you need to get the Playmaker that can go along with Dish. So maybe you already got a Dish receiver. The Playmaker is the easy-to-use portable satellite system that fits perfectly in everything you got, whether it's your trunk or whether it's your trailer or wherever. Weighs 8 pounds, easy to set up. Get one now for deer camp from World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH.
Chuck's going to join us when we come back on The Morning Rush.
ESPN Arkansas is headed behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Our coverage is presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. You can visit us at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. And First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas, First Community Bank now has 32 locations across Arkansas and southern Missouri to serve you.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
It's time for the Burton Pools and Spas annual hot tub warehouse sale. With over 8,000 spas sold, no one else matches the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. We have hot spring hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver, and they're all on sale. You'll save up to $4,900 off MSRP with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Don't miss the biggest hot tub warehouse sale of the year going on now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith. Visit burtonpools.com for more information.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting base with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Every day brings new possibilities. They could be simple, like making dinner plans with friends, or exciting, like starting a new side hustle, or maybe huge, like buying a new home. Whatever life brings your way, Arvest Bank's highly rated mobile apps give you control of your finances. Pay bills, manage your cards, send money, and more, all on your time. So say goodbye limits and hello possibilities with Arvest Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made from scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price and participation may vary.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. That's it for today. Bud Light, crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Y'all ready for this? You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Now, how many times in your life have you written an email to somebody or sent a text to someone and you've hit send and 2 seconds later you thought, I wish I hadn't done that?
I can see both of you typing out text or emails but not sending them.
My problem, Ty, is I usually send them, and that's what gets you in trouble.
All right, back here on the Morning Rush Hot Take Monday. Chuck's going to join us in just a sec. I know he's excited to be back inside of Bud Walton Arena and talk a little SEC football. He was a couch potato this weekend, Tommy.
A little double duty this week for CB. Hey, Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance. You're not going to beat those, but you're also not going to beat the price you'll find at Wheels RV. Plus, they back it up with a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
You know, Chuck, my dad, when I was a kid, said you don't need to be a couch potato. You need to go outside and do some other activities. But I'm going to be honest, man, kind of like yourself, that's all I did this weekend.
You know, I don't get to do this very often, and so I enjoyed it. I watched everybody else play and had a great time doing it.
It's fun, man. There's some good games. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was the best college football Saturday. There were some games that got out of hand. I know the Alabama-Mississippi State game was a little more disappointing than a lot of people thought, but it was good for you to just have that in your weeks that you've had, especially with basketball starting this week. I know your schedule is going to get that much more busy.
Oh, I enjoyed Saturday. It was fun. I'm not complaining about this week either, but it was fun to watch everybody else play. I liked watching LSU and Ole Miss, and I thought the Mississippi State-Alabama game might be a little bit better than it was, but I switched over to A&M and South Carolina, and that was a pretty good game.
Yeah, it comes down to South Carolina scoring a late touchdown drive that really put it away. I know we're going to get into more of Jimbo Fisher and on, but I thought – so we always look at this perspective – as fans, we don't like bye weeks, right? But you had an interesting conversation with Matt this weekend about what bye weeks do for the team. And here's what he said on just kind of the whole reset process.
Kind of go back to your high school, just stay around and try to get about 36, 48 hours. Just get away from it and just mentally reset because you know what, Chuck? We could win all these next 5 games.
Chuck, they could win these next 5 games. Now, it starts with winning against Auburn this weekend, and Arkansas opened up as a betting favorite. Hadn't happened in quite some time. How important is this week to just get back on track for this team?
Well, I mean, you know, they won at Brigham Young, so, I mean, they snapped the losing streak, and I think the feeling when they won that ball game was that they were back on track and that they had an opportunity to, close out strong, and this is the situation that they were in a year ago, and hopefully they'll be able to do what they did a year ago.
Yeah, and I think for Auburn and their football team also coming off a bye, this is a big week for them. Brian Harsin, we know, is very much on the hot seat right now. They were able to at least play Ole Miss competitive 2 weeks ago, but they still feel like they can beat Arkansas. Now, their weakness, Chuck, is rush defense. Arkansas should be able to theoretically run all over them this week.
Oh, I don't know about theoretically run all over them. I think Arkansas's got an opportunity to, move the ball on them. Auburn struggled some, but Auburn's like everybody else. I mean, they'll be decent at home. I would expect them to, if they've got a great game in them, we may see it on Saturday. I don't think you take anything for granted. I don't pay much attention to the betting lines and things like that. I mean, Arkansas is good enough to go down there and win, and if Auburn,
makes a stand, Auburn's good enough to win that game too. And I think that's kind of the common denominator in a lot of these games that the Razorbacks have left, whether they're here or there. Arkansas is good enough to beat Auburn, but, Arkansas is good enough to beat Ole Miss, and I think they're good enough to beat LSU, and they're good enough to beat everybody on the schedule. But those other teams, maybe with the exception of Missouri, are good enough to beat them too.
Was Saturday's loss for Ole Miss more about LSU or maybe more about Ole Miss having some deficiencies that we haven't seen yet just because their lack of schedule to this point?
Oh, I just think, I think LSU's got a great front seven. I think their defense is good. Ole Miss did some things early on, but they didn't do much after that. And, that was a game where it just seemed like Ole Miss was in control. I mean, they started fast. It just seemed like they were in control. It seemed like LSU was on their heels the entire first quarter. But, they got settled in, made some plays, got back in the game, and, they just blitzed them. I mean, in the second half, they just wore them out. Ole Miss abandoned their game plan offensively, and, LSU just beat them at the line of scrimmage.
They've been really good running the football this year, and I'd have to go back and double-check, but I don't think Zach Evans played in that game, their backup running back who transferred from TCU. That Quinshawn Jenkins is a true freshman, I think, and he's had a magnificent year. But when LSU kind of stoned him to the run and knew it was all passing, it just kind of changed the outlook of that game, Chuck.
Well, yeah, I mean, they went after the quarterback. One of the things about numbers, numbers can tell you some of the story, and I'm talking about Ole Miss's rushing average. Numbers tell you some of the story, but they don't tell you all the story. And, I don't know if Ole Miss is still going to lead the league in rushing at the end of the, I don't know where the conference stats are now after that ball game. But, they've got some offensive line issues. They're not perfect up front. Their pass protection wasn't very good. LSU got after them. And, hey, you got to give LSU credit. I mean, Brian Kelly's 6-2. And a lot of people, when he took that job, wondered about the fit. He did the fake Southern accent thing at that basketball game, and everybody got on him, and they wondered if he was going to be the right guy for the job. But he's done a pretty good job down there. They're formidable. And, their quarterback's not perfect, but kind of like Arkansas, they've done a good job, I think, of putting Daniels in a position to make the throws he can make. And, they're a physical team. I think LSU's exceeded expectations this year,
Chuck,
at least so far.
I got to be honest. I thought when Bama came to Death Valley, they would blow them out. I don't have that same feeling as I did. And you mentioned LSU. They're second in the West right now, and they feel like, and they're tied with Alabama only because they have that loss early this season of Florida State. I think a lot of LSU fans are starting to trend to maybe we can win the West.
Oh, I'm sure they're thinking that. When you win a ball game at the way they did Saturday, I'm sure they are thinking that they can win the West. Every week's different though, and I know you guys get tired of hearing me say that, but every week's different. And as we saw with Mississippi State Saturday, and as we saw, frankly, I thought when we played them and when some other teams play them, lots of other teams play them. I mean, you got to get past that thing that we're playing Alabama. LSU probably, of all the teams in the West, LSU over the years has probably feared Alabama least because they've had the talent to play with them in a lot of those years. I think Alabama's better than LSU this season, but it's in Tiger Stadium, and, I think LSU will probably give them everything they got.
Jaden Daniels was just kind of okay to start out the season. He seemed to found his footing a little bit. You talked about, and I don't know who their OC is, but him putting Jaden in situations that he can excel. Sure seems like in that Florida game and then the Ole Miss game that he's done exactly that as of late.
He's a good runner, and that's the reason he starts over Nussmeier. Nussmeier's a better passer. Daniels is more of a dual threat, and if you look at the teams right now that are out there playing well, that's what everybody wants. I mean, everybody wants that dual threat guy, and you put up with some of their deficiencies in the passing game to make the other side account for him as a runner, and that's the trade that you make. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but they've done a good job with him. He's playing with confidence right now. Now, look, I don't like them, and I don't think they're a great team, but I think they've exceeded what people expected from them so far this year.
Let's talk about some of the other game. We briefly mentioned the Mississippi State-Alabama game. With the South Carolina, I want to come back to that. Jimbo's an opportunity to make a bowl game. Chuck, it keeps dwindling, man. It's getting smaller and smaller by the week.
Well, they've got quarterback issues, and that's the bottom line there. That's not their only issue, but that's their overriding issue. When you are good at quarterback, you can cover up some other deficiencies. And you can win games despite the fact that you're deficient in other areas. But, A&M doesn't have a quarterback. It sounds like they're going to have to start this freshman. And it may be time to start him anyway. They're 3-4, and he's heralded. Jimbo asks you to do a lot of reading. If you're a quarterback, that's a hard system from what I understand. That is a very, very difficult system in terms of pre-snap reads, at the snap reads, once the ball snapped reads. I'm not going to pretend that I understand all the intricacies of it, but the football people that I know that do talk about how his system is very difficult for a quarterback to learn. And I don't know if that's true or not, but I know whatever their issue is down there, they've got one. And so, I think it's a flip of the coin for them the rest of the way, every game.
Yeah, they've got Florida left. They've got Auburn left. LSU. I mean, UMass is
well. Here's the thing. A couple of those teams, Auburn and Florida, they don't have good quarterbacks either.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the reason A&M's got a shot in those games, in my mind. So I can't see him beating LSU right now. Although Jimbo, he's got that LSU tie in, and they're not going to go down without a fight. They're not going to go down without a fight. They're going to be competitive the rest of the way, but I just think their quarterback's what hinders them. And if you're not good at that spot, you're going to have a hard time winning games.
Has Anthony Richardson been the most disappointing SEC quarterback this year?
Well, I got to be honest. I think Anthony Richardson has been exactly what football people thought he would be. He's a great athlete, but he's not a great quarterback. I think people knew that going in. Now, they pumped him up because, what's your alternative? If you say, well, he's not very good, he's probably not going to be very good. If you try to pump him up and, play a little psychological game with him, maybe you get some more out of him. I don't know. I just don't think that I just don't think he's an SEC quarterback. I don't think he's ever been an SEC quarterback. I don't think he's been a disappointment. I just think maybe there was too much built up around his game. So that's just sort of the way I view him. Now listen, I don't know about everything, but I do know this, that if you are in the market for a home right now, or if you are selling your home, now more than ever, you need a pro on your side. I read stuff every day about the housing market, going this way, going that way. There's a lot that I don't know about it, but I do know this, that if I was buying or selling a home right now, I'd want someone from Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, on my side. These are trained professionals. These are people that understand the business, the nuances of the market. They're full-time realtors. My experience with Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, was that they are pros every day, and they understand all the things that you don't understand or I didn't understand. And most importantly, they know how to get you from contract to close. Now, they've got an office in Fayetteville. They've got one in Springdale. They're in Bentonville. They've got an office in Fort Smith. They've even opened an office now in Branson, Missouri. You're going to see their yellow signs all over town, and you can log on to WeichertGriffin.com.
There's no place in the SEC that does it like this, where the home court advantage is so huge when the fans show up.
Number one environment in college basketball, no argument, Bud Walton.
I ain't never heard anyone get that loud.
Listen to Chuck, we finally get it back tonight. I know it's just an exhibition game, but basketball back in Bud Walton Arena. How jacked up are you, man?
It'll be fun tonight. I'm anxious to see him. Anxious to see him play. It's an exhibition game, and I'm I think most people are going to view it like that. The thing that I think is good about this team with all these new guys is that by the time they play a game that'll actually go on the record, they will have played 6 games against other teams. If you count the games in Europe tonight and then Saturday at Texas, this game tonight will be an afterthought within 4 or 5 days. They battled to beat directional team from Oklahoma last year in their exhibition game, and I don't think anybody remembered it when they got to the Elite Eight. I don't think anybody remembered it when they got to the first of the year. We didn't do the game, so I didn't even remember it on the official season opener, to be honest with you. But I think it'll be another chance for them to play together. They got 11 new guys on this team. 6 of them are freshmen. So the opportunity to play as many games as you can together that don't count is probably a benefit. So I think it'll be good tonight. We'll get to see some of these new guys play. A lot of people will see them for the first time if they go, and so should be an interesting evening.
You bring that up. Must touched on that a little bit yesterday.
Last year against a Division II team, really lucky to win probably. I thought Max Pender did a great job with his team. They were well prepared coming in here. That was a very, very close game last year. So we obviously grew a lot from that game until the end of the season.
I don't think anyone expected that game to be close. You joked about not even remembering it, but maybe that was good for the team to realize, hey, we gotta figure this thing out even early on last year.
Well, again, I think you can read too much into exhibition games. I've seen teams play lousy and be great, and teams play great and be lousy. And but again, I just think with this team more than anything, it's an opportunity to play on the court together. It's an opportunity to play a game where they keep score, where there's a winner and a loser, but it doesn't count on your record. I don't know. Frankly, I wonder if 90% of the people listening to this program right now remember that it was a 3-point game in that exhibition game last year. The point is that's exactly what it is, and they'll, obviously you want to win and you want to continue to come together because it'll be a little bit more than an average exhibition game Saturday down at Texas.
Yeah, Tommy, the lead up to that Texas game, you've got a situation where it's basically open to the general public tonight, so the fans that don't have season tickets or maybe can't afford for the high prices to go to a game, this is their opportunity to go tonight.
I thought it was interesting that, they wanted to really play the game this weekend and have a weekend crowd, but there was an esports. They were playing video games in Bud Walton Arena this weekend and had to move the game to tonight. I thought that was interesting. Walmart had put that deal on, and rarely does video games trump a basketball game inside Bud Walton, Chuck.
Well, I think they'd had this thing scheduled for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, by the same token, if you've got a big event where people are coming in from all over the place, their side of the story would be, you're going to kick us out for an exhibition game against Rogers State?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you compromise, and they'll play tonight.
I didn't even know that. I'd have taken my 12-year-old son up there. He'd have loved that. I didn't know what was going on. I wish they'd have maybe said a little bit more. But I think Monday night, maybe you get a little bit bigger crowd. The weather's going to be wet, going to be yucky. I think that might bring more people in. Not that you're going to do a whole lot after dark because it's getting dark earlier. But I think this weekend, a lot of people like me, hey, you don't have a football game, and you get caught up on things in the yard, around the house. You might do better on a Monday night than you would have this weekend.
There'll be some people there tonight. I don't think it'll be overwhelming. I'm going to be anxious to see what it's like at Austin on Saturday. But, I think that we'll see the crowds grow as we move closer to Christmas. We'll see the crowds grow as I think what happens in Maui is going to have a lot to do with how people feel about this team. Basketball in early November, unless you're at a basketball school, a real basketball school, you're competing with other things. So, but I think there'll be people there tonight. I think people are anxious to see these kids play. It's a new team, a lot of promise. I think people are anxious to watch them.
See, I think it's a lot like football this year, that you couldn't go. You were the season ticket holder. You couldn't go. It was not hard not only to find someone to take your tickets, you could find someone in football this year to buy your tickets. And I think basketball will be much the same way. Yeah, I can't go to the North Dakota State game, but I can put something on Facebook or Twitter and probably sell them for face value, $25, $30 a piece, in a matter of a few hours.
I
don't think
so.
I don't think it's going to be a problem.
I hope so. I hope it's that way. Basketball tickets, they're a lot more expensive than they were back when Bud Walton Arena was full every time. And the requirements to get those tickets are a lot greater than they were when, Arkansas was going through their run back in the 90s. But what I hope is that kind of like at Baum Stadium, these folks that, buy tickets for the big games, I hope that they'll find a way to get those tickets into somebody else's hands. And people have got to stop, and this is just my personal opinion. If you got the money to go buy season tickets, don't be haggling with somebody over $25 over a ticket to the, South Dakota Tech game. Make sure give them to somebody. Make sure somebody that's going to go gets the tickets. Don't be afraid to make somebody's day. Don't be sitting there haggling over $25. I hate it when people do that. But what I hope is that this year that those tickets, when people can't go, will find their way into the hands of people who will.
Because we did see some seats open in Baum Walker last year that we haven't traditionally seen. And I think that the baseball fans that were irritated that they upped the donation were frustrated to see the seats they've been sitting in for a certain number of years. They're just empty.
Well, that's happened in Bud Walton Arena for years. I mean, that's happened in Bud Walton Arena for years. And so it's not something that's unique to baseball. And at some point, they were going to have to change that ticket policy. At some point, they were going to have to. And they did, and it made some people mad, and there is some fallout. I mean, there's no question that people bought tickets for the regionals, and they didn't show up for a lot of the other games. I mean, you could see it when you watch the game on television. It was unavoidable. But that's happened in Bud Walton Arena now for a while. What I hope now is that we're past that. And I hope that those tickets – I mean, I remember when they were like gold bars. If you gave somebody 2 tickets to the Razorback basketball game, you had a friend for life. And I don't know if we'll get back to that again. It's a different era now. But I just hope that the people that don't go find someone who will use their tickets.
For those that have season tickets, we all getting used to our routine and our habit when going to a game and parking in the same place. They've redone and reparked everybody that's got season tickets to give enough to get a parking pass. So that will be the other thing early is everybody's got to find their new back road, their new path to get to the parking lot they're going to.
It is free parking tonight. I want to make that very clear for everyone.
It's easy tonight. Easy tonight.
Not the rest of the way, though,
but
Tommy.
They moved the one I normally park in from a pretty convenient spot to a less convenient spot.
Not so much.
I got to find my new path to get into Bud Walton now.
I'm going to be honest. We always just park in 56 and just walk through the gardens or whatever. So that's what we do every time.
Well, most people don't get to do that. I mean, there's a lot of people that are they're shelling out $20 to park in somebody's yard.
That's right.
We made some good money when we had a house next to Bud Walton Arena, guys, especially those shareholder conventions. People would pay absurd amounts just to be next to the arena. It was crazy.
People will pay for convenience. That's why there are convenience stores all over the world.
Old Kraft may be paying for some convenience if it looks like it's going to be raining.
You got a crisp 20 in your back pocket.
You dadgum right. If it's raining, I certainly do. Hey,
I get it.
WT Equipment has 8 convenient locations to take care of customers across Arkansas and North Louisiana. Their newest locations in Searcy. They're also in Springdale. They're the authorized New Holland agriculture and construction equipment dealer. Sales, service, parts, anything you need with New Holland equipment, they have it at WT Equipment. Also, you can stop in for any pre-owned inventory and new inventory when it comes to construction or agricultural equipment. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment location, including Searcy and Springdale. Find them all online at WTEquip.com.
Guys, we got the Phillies and the Astros in the World Series. Leaning either way. Don't care. Not going to watch any of
Phillies
it.
Are the hot
Astros
team.
easy.
Yeah.
Astros easy.
Phillies are the hot team, though.
Astros hadn't lost in the postseason. They're 7-0.
Yeah, but the Phillies weren't even supposed to be here.
So I'm going Houston. I don't like them, but I'm going Houston.
I don't know if there's much allegiance to either side. I know that Alex Bregman is probably the name that people know being we got Stanek, I guess, for Houston, but Alex Bregman being the LSU guy that a lot of our audience would know playing against or whatever. But yeah, you got that coming up. A lot of football as well. 877-377-6963. Hot Take Monday continues next on the Morning Rush.
Tommy Kraft for the Fence Man. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fence Man. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
No matter which road you take, the Toyota Tundra is the perfect way to navigate it. On your path, you're your own boss and set your own hours.
Look at that sunrise.
You may find yourself in some pretty remote places.
Whoa, that view. It's amazing.
Or in places where pastimes become stories that become legends.
I got one. It's a keeper. Hey, get a picture. No one's gonna believe this.
And each day ends binge watching stars and dreaming about all the things you'll do the next day.
You know what? I'm catching a bigger fish tomorrow.
Built to follow your path, the Toyota Tundra. Build yours today. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com for your ready-for-anything Toyota Tundra. The aggressively styled rugged Tundra is ready to be loaded up, and you can head off to wherever your path leads. Toyota. Let's go places. See packages and options at Toyota.com for feature availability.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment? Not having enough home time? Feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit PatriotTransport.com to apply. That's PatriotTransport.com.
It's not going to stop. It's not going to stop until you get something done. Yeah, I know the game is on, but the faucet is still dripping, the toilet keeps running, and the drains won't drain, and on and on. You need to call West Ark Plumbing and let them do the dirty work while you enjoy the game. Call them at 646-5151 and watch the ball game without the West Ark Plumbing, 646-5151.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath Road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're stuck with the clouds. We'll see occasional showers and thunderstorms today. Our high this afternoon will be in the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Occasional showers and storms with some heavy pockets of rain tonight. Overnight lows in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Catch Sam Pittman live every Wednesday night at 7, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Normally, we would play on a weekend so that we could have a weekend crowd, but Bud Walton is occupied right now with an event all weekend, so we won't even really get in there on Saturday or Sunday to even have a practice. So a little bit out of the ordinary for sure, but it'll give the guys a good opportunity. They'll have to go to class all day on Monday and then go straight from class to shoot around. 8 years I've done college, I've never experienced an exhibition game during a week. It'll be a good learning experience for me as well.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, all right, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday. Arkansas, for the first time this season, getting a chance to play in Bud Walton Arena exhibition game against Rogers State. We'll have that airtime for you at 6:30 tonight and the game at 7 right here. Do want to talk about this Auburn game this Saturday, 11 a.m. We'll do that coming up in just a sec.
Hot Take Monday, always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72. Off of I-49 in Springdale. They have a mobile service shuttle. How convenient is that? You got an issue, you need a service call, they'll come to you to fix that rather than you having to hook up your RV, take it into Wheels. They'll just come out and fix it on the spot. That's a pretty good deal right there. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Arkansas opened up as a 3.5-point favorite on BetOnline against Auburn. Now, according to Andrew Hutchinson's database, they have not been favored at Jordan-Hare Stadium since 1998. They ended up losing that game 24-21. Now, you haven't won there since 2012. You hadn't had a lot of success there over the years. Is this year different? Do you feel confident about this week?
Well, the other years, Auburn's been better. I mean, that's why they won. I mean, there's not been a time, frankly, that I can think of right off the top of my head where we've gone down there and thought, man, we should have won that game. Maybe I've got one slip in my head. I mean, 2 years ago we got hosed. I'm not, overlooking that. But when you go back in those other years, I mean, Auburn was better. I think Arkansas is better this year. And doesn't mean they'll win, but I think Arkansas has got a good chance to go down there and win this week.
What do you think, Tommy? You feel like, because what Chuck just said is 100% true, you feel like you have a better football team.
I think it's Arkansas's best chance in 10 years, and I think if you don't win this game, you're going to feel like you really let one get away. This is as close to a game in conference play. Now, you've had a non-conference game with Missouri State. You probably felt different. I think BYU's in a different category. Chuck, this is the first conference game where you really feel like, well, Sam Pittman ought to win this football game.
Well, I mean, it's certainly – I mean, anytime you go on the road in the league, I mean – I don't think I'd be taking anything for granted. No. Auburn's had an opportunity to do the same thing that Arkansas has had. But, yeah, I mean, it's a game that you look at and you think, they got a good chance to go down there and win that game. By the way, you mentioned Missouri State. Do you know Cincinnati's not lost since they played the Razorbacks? Missouri State's not won. Missouri State has not won a game since they played in Fayetteville. They're in the midst of a 4-game losing skid. So, Bobby brought his team down here, and they played great that night. But, I mean, Northern Iowa beat them by 3 touchdowns Saturday. So my point in all of this, guys, and you hear me say it, I said it in the last half hour, I'll probably say it in the next half hour too. You can't go by what you're watching this week sometimes and predict the next week. I'll cite another example while I'm rolling here. Liberty owes Arkansas an assist for beating BYU on Saturday. Arkansas's got a lot to do. I hear people say, it can't beat Liberty. Arkansas's got a lot to do with Liberty beating BYU the way they did over the weekend. BYU came out of that game with us physically beaten up. They had to fly across the country. That's why they got beat. And I don't know why I got off into that, but you said Missouri State a minute ago, and it sparked a thought with me. And my point is that, you don't know. You got to go play.
How'd you like to do Bobby's TV show this week after a 4-game skid? You want some of that?
Let me tell you something. I feel, the gentleman that does that is Art Haynes, who, became deathly ill, right? In all seriousness, he caught something while he was here, and he just almost died. If you follow that story, you know what I'm talking about. Art and I were talking about it, and I said, man, Art, I hope you win every game because I know that TV show on Sunday morning is not very much fun when you lose. He kind of laughed. He didn't really want to talk about it, but I knew what he was thinking.
Yeah. Y'all share that common bond.
That's exactly right. I knew exactly what was going through his mind. He just didn't know if he could say it or not.
Well, you could tell by the grin on his face, but
just that blank look.
But separate out. And I think Cincinnati's as good a team based on the surface as what we've seen with Auburn. BYU probably not as good, but as far as the conference games to date, this should be your best chance to go win one, even though it's on the road. I mean. Just based on the way Auburn's played this year.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If you're going to go win a road game, this is the one to go win. Yep. Absolutely.
Coach talked last year, the first time they'd been favored in an SEC game was when they hosted Auburn last year. We know what happened in the second half of that football game, and I think the fact that they haven't beaten Auburn plays in. It's not the number one reason, but I think it also plays into it a little bit. This guy loves to seem to break streaks. He'd love to be able to break the streak on the road.
Hey, I'm still mad about what happened there 2 years ago. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah. And let's face it, you don't want to lose going into a bye, and by God, you expect to win coming off a bye. You're rested. It removes a lot of the excuses. Maybe we'll find out a little bit later today, guys, who's going to be available on defense. It's been a personnel issue, but coming off a bye, you expect to win.
Yeah, I think, everybody that had a bye over the weekend thinks they'll be better next Saturday because of it.
Including Auburn.
And, part of the thing is the byes are part of it. Bye weeks are part of it. You either embrace it and talk about how it's a good thing. I've never heard anybody say publicly, boy, this bye week comes at a really bad time for us. I wish we could keep playing. Nobody ever says that because they're here. They're part of the schedule. You got to embrace it. The flip side, the flip side to that is when you embrace it the way coaches do, everybody expects you to be a whole lot better the next week.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are expecting Arkansas to have its full arsenal back in secondary outside of, again, Ladarius Bishops and Jalen Cattle on that based on
sounds like
it sounds like it, but we're not going to know until really game. I would expect game time
and Chuck,
against Auburn.
And as we know, coaches said many times, well, we're expecting this one, we're expecting that one, then it doesn't work out. So I mean, sometimes even coach doesn't truly know.
Well, I mean that's it's hard to say on Monday who's going to play on Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, you look around. If you watch football all weekend, college and pro, look at all the guys that got hurt.
Yeah.
And you just don't know the next day. There's not always an instant prognosis.
So, well, we're looking for chaperones this morning. We're sending Ty behind enemy lines. He definitely needs supervision down on the plains. Our coverage is going to be brought by Ag Up Equipment. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary. Layton and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Find them at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. They don't sell maybe at Ag Up. And by First Community Bank, where community comes first, founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas. First Community Bank, 32 locations across Arkansas and in southern Missouri. to serve you.
Got our Morning Rush daily question coming up. And Chuck, I'm excited. I've never had a Tumors Corner lemonade. I've never been to Jordan-Hare Stadium. I think it's one of the more underrated venues in college football. What is this trip like going down there to the Plains of Auburn?
Oh, you'll enjoy it. You'll get sick of hearing people say welcome to Auburn, because that's going to be said to you a million times while you're down there. They're so nice it's fake sometimes, but they really are. I mean, I'm joking. I mean, they are nice people. Actually, Auburn's about the people that work there. Auburn's about my favorite in the league, other than us, of course.
Can't top BYU's over-the-top friendliness last weekend.
I don't know. Auburn's pretty close, at least till the game starts.
Hey, if you farm, you've got enough to worry about. Quit worrying about the interest rates, what your payment may become with a variable or balloon interest rate. Maybe your term is coming due in the next few months. Get out ahead of it before the next rate increase. With Farm Credit, they can lock in long-term fixed rates for you. Long-term fixed rates mean peace of mind in these changing economic times. Find a Farm Credit office near you at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Farm Credit is an equal housing lender.
All right, we'll get into our Morning Rush daily question when we come back.
ESPN Arkansas is headed behind enemy lines.
Powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
Daily question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So against Rogers State, who leads Arkansas in scoring tonight? 877-377-6963. Now, conventional wisdom would tell you it's probably going to be Nick Smith Jr., but if we're going to go outside of that, guys, who do you think it's going to be?
I'm not going to go outside of that. I mean, I'm going to say Smith. We're just kind of pulling names out of a hat, but I think Smith's probably the best bet.
We saw Jalen Graham lead the way in the red-white game. I don't think anyone thought the odds in Vegas would have been way down the list for Jalen, so I don't know.
I don't think they're putting odds on that.
Hey, you guys remember a player named Charles Tatum?
I do.
Charles Tatum, he was like a red-white All-American. Tatum would score like 30, 32, 35 in those red-white games, and then he'd be a vampire when the lights came on.
So, well, this will be interesting because we were talking earlier, Chuck, that for many of these, including Nick Smith, this will be the largest crowd. I suspect this will be the largest crowd because I think you'll have somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 there. Then I think the lower bowl will be pretty well full. This will be the largest crowd a lot of these guys have ever played in front of.
Oh, I think they like to show off. I mean, these are gamers. These are big-time players. If you're a big-time player, when the lights come on, you don't get nervous. You embrace it. I mean, you want to show off and show out, and I think that's what they'll want to do tonight. Wouldn't surprise me if they had a few turnovers early on. I mean, I don't expect it to be crisp. I think they'll be excited. And, I think a lot of these guys view themselves as showtime. And, it's an exhibition game, but – the lights are on and people will be there, and I would think they'd want to put on a show.
And I think we'll get a first look at kind of where they're settling in on this rotation. What was it Musk said? He had like 6 of the 8 slots locked up, I think was the phrase he used a week or so ago. So that's going to be interesting to see. I think everyone on the bench should have a chance to play, but we'll see who gets the minutes. That will be the most interesting thing to me, guys, when we look at the box score in the morning. Is not just necessarily who had the points and the rebounds, who had the minutes, because that's going to be a telltale sign of kind of what this team's makeup's going to be like, at least for a while.
Well, one of the things you got to consider, too, again, though, these are exhibition games, and so you may look at combinations tonight that you might not plan on playing, for example, even on Saturday. I'm going to be interested to see on Saturday. I know once they throw the ball up, everybody's going to play to win. But I wonder from a substitution pattern, from a combinations pattern, what that game Saturday is going to look like. because it's a game people are going to pay attention to. It's not your average exhibition game, let's be honest. And so, what's the coaching approach on both sides going to be like on Saturday?
Which makes me believe you're a little more rigid maybe tonight to get ready for that game on Saturday. Maybe you do some things tonight because, hey, I'm going to Texas guns loaded.
Well, but again, neither one of these games count on the record. And so that's why I say it's going to be interesting to see Saturday
Yeah.
You play
what
Texas
the
and
coaches'
it
approach
counts.
are.
that Texas game though.
No, yes, I get it, and that's why I said a minute ago it's not your average exhibition game, but it does not count on the record.
Well, it counts if you win. It doesn't count if you lose.
To me, that's not an exhibition game. Every Arkansas fan wants to win that game. Knows that.
It's not your average exhibition game. I freely concede that. All that I'm saying is I'm going to be interested to see Saturday. I know once they throw the ball up, everybody's going to be playing to win. But, if you want to look at a certain combination against a good team, I don't mean against Rogers State, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. If you want to test out combinations against good teams, that's what this exhibition game provides you an opportunity to do. And I think Beard will be doing the same thing on the other side.
Muss said he wasn't going to scout Rogers State at all. I can't remember what he said about Texas, but if I had to guess, there's probably going to be some more time spent on the
I would
Longhorns.
imagine you're right about that. I would imagine you're right about that.
All right, who scores the most tonight for the basketball team? That's your Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
This hour of Chuck Barrett on the Morning Rush is presented by Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Professional people, professional service. Schedule your service appointment today at gopaschal.com.
Guys, is A&M going to have to fire Jimbo Fisher this year? They figure out a buyout now. They've got Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, UMass, and LSU remaining on their schedule. I see at least 2 losses, so maybe they make a bowl game at least. But if you're a Texas A&M fan, do you let Jimbo Fisher coach another season if they go 6-6 this year?
I think it's going to be hard for him to survive. Here's the thing about Jimbo's contract there. It's not like the buyout drops exponentially as we move through the next 4 or 5 years. I mean, you go from 90 to maybe 86, down to 79 or 77. Frankly, if you're going to spend $77 million to buy out a coach in 2 years, you might as well spend 90 to buy him out now. There's an old saying that, what's inevitable should be done immediately. And sometimes that's true, sometimes it's not. My hunch is he'll survive. But I'll tell you, if they go below 500, all bets are off.
I had friends texting me over the weekend that the A&M loss looks even worse now. Would you agree with that?
Well, there's always a game out there, or at least a lot of times there's a game out there that you feel like you let slip away. Last year was Auburn at home. They still won 9 games. So, this is not a perfect team. This is not Alabama, Georgia. They're not going to be perfect every week, and that is one that you look back and you think that it got away. But that game happened a while back, and it's time to move on from that.
To me, when you I don't care how much money you have, when you start talking about committing to writing someone a check for $80-some-odd million, you're going to pause a minute and think about the decision. And I think
here's the thing, though. If he doesn't fire him and the fans turn on Jimbo, the AD's next. He's next.
And Bjork,
and it may be a package fire.
Bjork re-upped his contract. You always talk about extensions. Was it after 2020, the COVID year, they went 9-1 regular season? I think they won their bowl game too. I think they re-upped that contract to even more money.
So and here's where I was headed next. If you've spent $100 million to hire Jimbo Fisher and it doesn't work out, what do you do next? If you're Ross Bjork, you're that board, what's the answer now? Because you've hired a coach that had a national championship. That doesn't work out. You paid him not a small fortune, a pretty good-sized fortune. Now what's your next move?
Well, your next move is to never give anybody an extension like that again. And that's kind of the credo that you follow for a while. It's going to be a long time before we give an extension like we gave Brett Bielema. But let's just be honest. It's going to be a long time. Got Brett Bielema fired and got Jeff Long fired. It's the extensions that kill you. And so that's the first order of business is I don't care how good this next guy is, you're not giving him an extension after 2 years. It's not going to happen. But that's probably, I mean, let's just be honest. If Jimbo gets fired, Ross Bjork's going to get fired. May not be on the same day, but it's coming because he's the one that signed it. He's the one that agreed to it. Now, you know, when we beat Texas down there in Houston, I didn't hear one single fan objecting to Brett Bielema's extension. But then when it didn't work out, it's like, well, what were you doing? Nobody objected down there at College Station to Jimbo getting that extension when they went 9-1. Nobody objected to it, but it's not worked out. And so now the guy that agreed to it and the guy that signed his name to it, he's on the chopping block too.
Well, Bielema's was far more an overreaction, even though Jimbo's is far more expensive.
Well, so was Jimbo's.
Well, I mean, but at least you could understand Jimbo's a little bit more. Arkansas beat a less than average Texas team, and you give Bielema, you back up the Brinks truck on the terms. At least with Jimbo, you understand why they did what they did.
Most every extension is reactionary.
Yep.
Most every extension is reactionary. You've either got an agent stirring the waters, saying, my guy's getting ready to leave. I mean, part of the reason Jimbo got the extension was because his agent flirted with LSU. That's the reason that he got the extension. They just flirted. They just talked a little bit, had a little contact, and all of a sudden it buys you another, umpteen $1 million. And that's where these guys get into trouble. And frankly, they should, because never forget, they're spending other people's money. Never forget that. Yeah. You're spending other people's money.
Just like Washington, D.C. almost. It's just not even real money.
Mean,
it's just not even real money when you're talking the numbers
that's exactly
that they're
right.
at. They're just
that's
like
exactly
monopoly
right.
money. But, in the end, I just wonder, and these guys are wired different, but when you give a coach like Arkansas did Bielema, like A&M's done Jimbo, and there's dozens of other examples, how do you keep that coach motivated other than with a stick of, hey, we're going to fire you? But then what kind of stick is that? You're beating him with a golden stick. Hey, we're going to fire you and give you $80 million to leave.
Well, but these guys are prideful competitors. I mean, we look at the money because we don't have it. We look at that money, and it's easy to say. And believe me, Ed Orgeron did not say in the meeting, where do I sign for $17 million? He didn't say that in the meeting. He said that when it was over, because that's palatable to the public, because the public understands that. But these guys are supreme competitors. That money doesn't mean as much to them going out the door as you might think. They're already rich. They already live a lifestyle we'll never live. And so it does hurt them when they get fired.
Which makes what Saban does even more impressive, year in, year out.
Well, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, as we've seen even with Alabama, if you hire the wrong guy, it's tough. Now, Alabama is a place where if you get the right guy, there are a lot of built-in advantages there. And Saban obviously was the right guy.
I think it's also depending on the coach. I think in some cases, some coaches get fat and happy, and then in other cases, the money is not as a big of a deal.
You're right.
And I think a lot of people –
Some of them do. No, I mean, some of them do. You're right. I mean, some of them do get fat and happy, and then there's others that want to prove that they're worth every nickel. And, we've seen it go both ways here, frankly.
Well, I think that's what with Sam's recent contract extension, the clauses that are reactionary to wins, right? It's help me on this, $5 million base, and then he has
incentives for winning.
That's the word I was looking
games,
for. And you don't see that. It's pretty seldom in college football, really college sports, when you see a contract like that. And I know a lot of national college football people are writing, or people are going to follow the formula that Hunter Yurchek seems to be using on Sam Pittman. That's going to be something interesting to watch these next few years.
Well, it's about leverage, though. It's about leverage. Jimbo had a national championship in his back pocket. That always gave him leverage. And he had leverage when he went 9-1. And I don't blame these coaches because, as we've seen, I mean, the worm turns almost instantaneously. I mean, you can be on top of the world one day and they're looking to fire you the next, and that's how it works. So when you got leverage, as is the case in any business, you better take advantage of it because you may not get it again. So I don't blame these guys for doing it. What I think is the issue a lot of times, frankly, is you got a lot of athletic directors out there that don't know how to negotiate. and they're easy pickings.
Well,
for agents like Jimmy Sexton, it's like, it's like Alabama playing a high school team in football in some of those negotiations. I mean, these agents just run roughshod over these guys.
They got no midsections. You
can't. No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is agents are skilled negotiators. A lot of these athletic directors came up through the marketing department.
Yeah.
I don't mean that disrespectfully. I'm just saying that they are not skilled negotiators the way these agents are.
And an AD may negotiate a contract once a year, maybe twice. I mean, let's be honest, the gymnastics coach doesn't have the leverage of football. These agents do it day in, day out with different clients, different schools. You're exactly right. They're far more honed at negotiating a contract.
It's just all about leverage. I mean, as is the case in any walk of life, it's all about leverage. And I'm not insinuating that I think all ADs get run over by these agents. I don't think all of them do. But I think some of them do.
Yeah.
Particularly when coaches like Jimbo, who have cachet, whether real or imagined, and I think that sometimes some of these guys do get steamrolled a little bit.
LSU.
I think we got steamrolled.
No question.
I mean, let's just be honest. We did.
Well, you end up in a lawsuit over the terms of that buyout. I mean, because let's be honest, Arkansas and their foundation didn't feel like the terms were fair to begin with, so They were looking for any little violation of the terms to not pay it all.
I know this. If you're making $18 million as a head coach, you better live a clean life, because when it comes time to fire you, they're looking for a reason to fire you and not pay you that money.
Cause.
They're looking for a reason to fire you.
And that's what would concern me, at least, if I was Jimbo, is – are they going to plant something here? Am I going to get set up? I mean, I'm going to tell you, what was it, the call in Define Mom? It's cheaper to hire a hitman than pay $90 million.
I mean, you just look at Harson's deal down there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
exactly
they didn't. They made up some charges and came after him, and even though they weren't true, it still ruined his program and
his reputation.
And it's ultimately going to lead to his dismissal.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to tell you, I am not one of these people who's embarrassed to say I run my heater and my air conditioner on the same day. Not embarrassed to say that. And we're in the time of year when I suspect a lot of people do that. And there is a time, and the time is now, to call the pros at Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Be honest, when you turn that heater on for the first time, in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I hope everything's okay. Mm-hmm. Well, at Pascal, when you call the pros at Pascal, they've got a plant protection program. It's seasonal updates. They're going to come out and they're going to make sure your system's ready to go. That's what pros do. This is a 50-year-old company. They've been in Northwest Arkansas for 50 years. They've recently expanded into Central Arkansas, and they're growing by the day. Charlie Boyce, one of my favorite Razorbacks, is the proprietor, the owner at Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. He's a third-generation guy in his family to do this. These are professional people. It is professional service. Arkansas-owned and operated. Call the pros at Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric, or you can log on to gopascal.com.
You've been talking about finding the right guy, finding the right fit. Has LSU found the right guy? I heard y'all talking about this a little bit earlier in the last hour. Everybody kind of left LSU for dead after the Florida State game to open the season. Brian Kelly, who's built a program everywhere he's been, seems to be, in my estimate, Chuck, ahead of schedule at LSU.
I think they've exceeded expectations this year. Here's the deal. They said the same thing at LSU about Brian Kelly as they did when they hired that coach from Michigan State several years ago named Nick Saban. What's a guy from way up there coming way down here for? He's not going to be a fit. It's not going to work. Brian Kelly's a good coach. Now, I'm not a particular Brian Kelly fan. When he was at Notre Dame, I didn't pull for him one single time. And that hadn't changed since he's been at LSU, to be honest with you. But I think that you got to give them credit for what they've done. They've been good at home. And, they beat a good Mississippi State team at home. And they throttled Ole Miss after a slow start. So you got to give him credit. They have exceeded expectations.
They have a bye week this week. Then they'll take on Alabama next weekend. And I'm going to be honest, guys, initially before the season began, I thought Bryce Young and company would go in there and beat him by 40. But I'm not so sure anymore. Jay Daniels playing a lot better than he was at the beginning of the season. And I think that LSU is going to give Alabama a tough time, and I would guess that's going to be the 2:30 game next weekend.
Might be, and they might give them a tough time, or they might not. I watched that game pretty closely Saturday, and I'm not taking anything away from Ole Miss, but Ole Miss isn't anywhere as close as Alabama when it comes to physicality, particularly on defense. My question about the LSU-Alabama game would be, can LSU score enough points to stay with them? And I really don't think they can. I think Alabama will win that game, but I do think LSU's better than a lot of people thought they'd be.
877-377-6963 is our number to jump in here on a Hot Take Monday. Go ahead, Ben Fayetteville.
Hey, good morning, guys. My question is, who gets fired first, Harsin or Jimbo at Texas A&M? Texas A&M is paying him Nick Saban money, $10 million a year, and they're getting 7 wins a year. This is his 5th recruiting class at Texas A&M. 5th one, $10 million a year. I don't see Texas A&M donors putting up with this in the SEC. I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, Ben. I think there's a good chance both of them could be let go by season's end, but if you wanted us to pick one to happen first, it's Brian Harsin.
Well,
and Arkansas could be the executioner as of this weekend.
And it could be Ross Bjork gets fired first is what it could be.
I mean, people have written, they've had Harsin's obituary written for a long time, and I would suspect if they make a change, it'll happen, maybe before the Alabama game. If they're going to let him go, I don't see him letting him coach against Alabama. There's my personal opinion is, again, that Jimbo will survive by the skin of his teeth, but I don't think this buyout that everybody's talking about, I don't think that's going to keep him from doing it, because if you go strictly by the buyout, they'd have to keep him for another 3 or 4 years. And if he goes sub 500 this year, I think he's going to get fired now. If they go 6-6, I think he'll hang on. He'll be on the hottest, as Paul Feinbaum said, he'll be on the hottest seat in the history of hot seats, and I'd agree with that.
Here's what I think happens at A&M is they renegotiate the buyout to give him another year, and then sometime in the next year, so he'll agree to a more favorable term to the school in order to coach another year at A&M. And then somewhere, and then if that doesn't go well, somewhere early next year, Ross Bjork will be fired early in the football season if it's not going well. And then a new AD will come in and hire the next football coach.
What happened with Auburn?
Oh, that makes sense, but I don't know if Jimmy Sexton go along with that.
Well, Auburn, that's Gus's agent, right? That just happened a couple years ago with Auburn. So, I mean, we've seen it before. I don't think that's too out of the realm of possibility.
I mean, if Jimbo can go to the beach and take his money, I guess $10 million at a clip or whatever, but, I would imagine it's going to go somewhere in between those two scenarios, and I don't think Ross Bjork will hire the next football coach there.
How damaging is that?
Well, when you don't hire the right guy, you generally don't get a second chance.
Yeah.
So who is A&M's, help me on this, Francione, Sherman, Sumlin, Fisher have all, I think the best of those seasons, we mentioned 2020 for Jimbo, and then someone had the 11-2 year, first year under Johnny Manziel. That would have been in 2012. They haven't had a better season under Francione or Sherman, have they? That's been the top of the thing. They haven't competed really for a college football or national championship.
They only won one Big 12 title in the 20-some-odd years they were in the Big 12. So, I mean, it's not like A&M's had a bunch of championships in years gone by, conference titles and certainly national titles. So, I mean, they're like everybody else chasing the elusive.
There's only one scoreboard that matters. I don't care what your recruiting board says. I don't care how much NIL money you got. I don't care how much oil money you got. I don't care how big your stadium is. I don't care how much money you raised. There's one scoreboard that matters. And A&M just not won enough of those. And so they've thrown silly money around, and they're not the only ones. But I think they're getting exactly what they deserve. And I think anybody that ponies up $90 million for a football coach, short of Saban, and it doesn't work out, I think you get I think you're getting exactly what you deserve.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. They have a mobile service shuttle that will come to you, keep you camping longer, make it easier on you. That's Wheels RV. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Hey, Gaston's is a great place to go explore and discover. North Central Arkansas, and it's really North America's, the entire continent's best trout fishing spot in North America. We don't just say that because it's a marketing slogan. It's the facts. If you want trophy browns, trophy rainbows, those fish of a lifetime, the White River has long produced for decades those kind of trout. And if you're looking for one of the secrets in our state, it's all on the White River at Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's time for the Burton Pools and Spas annual hot tub warehouse sale. With over 8,000 spas sold, no one else matches the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. We have hot spring hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver, and they're all on sale. You'll save up to $4,900 off MSRP with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Don't miss the biggest hot tub warehouse sale of the year, going on now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith. Visit burtonpools.com for more information.
At Clay Maxey Auto Group, making the relationship has been what we've always been about. Can't control the market, but we can control who we are and how we act every day. And we're just going to be really good at being us. It's always been more than just selling the cars or servicing them. It's a people business. We're here to take care of the customer. To me, it's important that it's about the relationship, not the transaction. Come visit us today at Clay Maxey Auto Group.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. The friendly pros at Pascal have been serving Arkansas for more than 50 years. And as the weather changes, make sure your system is ready with a Pascal protection plan. Call the pros at Pascal and get a seasonal tune-up, discounted services, and priority scheduling. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath Road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service is all about God, family, and our country, and they proudly display the red, white, and blue. At High-Tech, they specialize in truck and trailer repair, service, and are certified in refrigeration repair. And every day, give thanks to those who have served our country and paid the ultimate sacrifice for folks like you and me. High-Tech Truck Refrigeration Service, located in Van Buren at 6410 Alma Highway or at 479-474-2220.
You never know what you're going to walk up and find over the hill at the Tackle Box. They've got new arrivals of ammo just in time for the hunting season. Browning 223 50 grain for $19.99 a box. 22 250 soft points for $29.99 a box. Remington 30-06 for $29.99 a box. While you're there, be sure to check out all their fly tying supplies and all the frozen bait you'll ever need for your fishing trips. Be sure to visit them online at tacklebox.online.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
The Golf Nut has been Fort Smith's #1 golf shop since 1994. Beat the heat, book a time in their hitting bays with the TrackMan technology, or play around on one of the many courses like Bethpage Black or Pebble Beach. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks today and schedule a lesson using the simulator. For the best selection of clubs, shoes, and apparel, stop by the Golf Nut today. 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 stop shop for everything golf.
Studies have shown that people who can count to 5 without saying 1 or 3 can also enjoy the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal at Hardee's. Choose from a sausage and egg biscuit, country fried steak, or biscuit and gravy, now for less. That means more made from scratch biscuits for me. Bite into the new 2 for $5 breakfast deal only at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included. Available for a limited time at participating Hardee's restaurants. Price of participation may vary.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Eric Musselman was asked about the starting lineup that you'll see in tonight's game. Here's what he had to say.
Probably 3 meetings today to go through different starting lineups. Might bring 1 or 2 players off the bench that are really starters so that we have some pop off the bench. Who starts, that might not be what the closing lineup is.
Guys, I think it's going to be a different starting lineup we see tonight that we see on Saturday. I've just got a gut feeling that's how it's going to play out.
Well, to me, I want to see who's playing in critical moments. I want to see when the game's on the line, who's out there. We may not know that entirely until we get to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I think that's the most important thing is who are your clutch guys? Who are the guys that you look to in the critical moments? They're obvious candidates, but who are the other guys going to be too? Who's the lockdown guy going to be? I don't think we know that, and I don't think we will know that for a while.
See, I could see Devo Davis being a guy that doesn't start but comes off and plays, like you said, the critical minutes, the crunch time when it matters. One of your returning players, one of your senior guys, one of your leaders on this team, or should, in all accounts, be a leader and a mature voice. I could see him being one of those guys you're describing there, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, you want reliable guys. In critical moments, you want reliable guys, maybe predictable guys to an extent. If you're a coach on the bench, you want a guy that, you know what you're going to get. At least you've got a pretty good idea about what you're going to get. And Devo's certainly a candidate for that. There are other guys too, but you're going to want people you can rely on in those moments.
And Devontae seems like he's taken that leadership role, and Eric Musselman's been telling us that he's kind of stepped up in that aspect. He'd like to see him. I didn't answer the question we asked earlier, who he thinks is score. I could see Devo trying to make a statement in tonight's game and being the leading scorer early on.
See, I think we know a little bit about, and we don't know a lot about all of these guys, but some players like, say, Darian Ford or Pinion, two in-state guys. Where do they factor? Do they give you more than you expect? My expectations in this exhibition part is pretty low for them. Well, be interesting to see if in these next 2 games if they show up in a way that you're not expecting.
Well, eventually, as we move through the season, there's going to be some guys that maybe play early that don't play as we move on down the road. That's just kind of the pattern that we've seen. And so I think a lot of guys will have an opportunity to show what they've got. And I'll go back to something I said when I first came on today. When you really stop and think about it, and it's a perfect situation for a team with 11 new players. I mean, they will have played 6 games against other teams, keeping score, before they ever have a game that counts on their record. And I think that's a tremendous advantage for this team, and I think it gives you an opportunity to be much more well-rounded by the time you open the season. And again, that trip to Hawaii against good teams in as marquee a setting as you can have for November basketball, I think that's when we really begin to find out some things.
We'll have airtime here at 6:30. It's not on television, so you can listen to it right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I saw Musselman was in Denver to watch Jalen and Isaiah for the Oklahoma City Thunder. It was kind of a cool video that they put out, and just that kind of connection and stuff. He seems to be traveling on these weekends to various spots, whether it's his former players or just to NFL teams and whatnot.
I saw some people that I know from Fort Smith that have made the trip over to Oklahoma City. I guess they played last night over there and watched them play. So I just saw some Facebook posts. So interesting to I think you're going to see more and more people, particularly Fort Smith area where two of those players are from, go and make that 2.5 hour, 3 hour trip over.
I hope both of them can stick. Yeah, you know, that's the thing that you hope is both of them can stick. And they can build long NBA careers. Whether it's, guys move around a lot in the pros. I mean, Isaiah's already, he's came from Philadelphia. So, I mean, it's guys move around a lot. I think about Joe Johnson, all the teams he played for. And, I just hope both these guys can stick and play for a while.
So that's some former players. You do have a current player on the roster, Anthony Black. He's going to be at Alma Tractor doing some stuff for them from 3:30 to 5 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're in the area, you can make sure you can check that out. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Dallas Cowboys got back on track with a 24-6 win over the Detroit Lions.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
And then Kansas City throttled San Francisco in the second half, a kind of newly retooled San Francisco as they traded for Christian McCaffrey this week. But Patrick Mahomes just lit them up. So two of the biggest teams in our state, at least from a fan base perspective, back on track with wins this week.
And Dallas did it with defense again, Chuck. I mean, they went 24-6. It's hard to win in the NFL when you only get 6 on the board for Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a ho-hum game. The only thing that made it interesting was Dak coming back. He was kind of rusty.
Yep.
Their defense, though, is what's going to carry them. I mean, they'll go as far as that defense carries them. They're going to have to figure out a way to score some more points, and I hope Dak can, I hope him coming back can get them turned around some offensively. But defensively, they're at a championship level defensively. But that's only, 1/3 of the battle.
Yeah, the Eagles, who are on a bye this week, the Giants won again yesterday. So the NFC East that we thought was going to be the NFC least again this year, it's a tough division right now for those three teams. Washington's just kind of blah. Even
Philadelphia is the best team.
Yeah.
I mean, Philadelphia is the best team by far.
They had a bye week this weekend, so their big game. I mean, we're a month out, but at Thanksgiving Day game where we're vegging out and relaxing after all that turkey, that's going to be the game to watch. Is the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think that's the 24th. I think that's Thanksgiving Day. So that's going to be the game that probably decides that division, Chuck.
Could. I mean, Cowboys are going to have to get rolling offensively or they're not going to win that game. I mean, the Eagles are better right now. I hate to say it, but they are. Dallas's defense is good. They'll be ready to play that day. But if Dak can come back and they can get the offense going, they can win that game.
Arkansas and Auburn this weekend. My judgment's being called into question already as we're sending Ty behind enemy lines. May have to send a few hundred down for bail money with you, Chuck, so you can get him out if things go off the rails. It's brought to you by Ag Up Equipment. They're celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. They have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. You can visit them at agup.com. And by First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas. First Community Bank, 32 locations across Arkansas and in southern Missouri to serve you.
I know a lot of our audience knows the bar Floribama, which some would say is the best bar in the South, but apparently Auburn has the best bar of the South, Sky Bar. So that's there.
Have you been to Floribama?
I have seen the outside of it. I was not 21 at the time when I was down at that area, so I did not actually go inside.
It'd take you a Sharpie in there. I guess the thing when I was there, you had to write on the walls. Now, it's probably been blown down 2 or 3 times since I've been there.
Yeah, I was going to say, there have been 2 or 3 incarnations of the Floribama.
Bushwhackers.
The Hurricanes have had a lot to do with that. They used to have the mullet toss down there. I don't know if they still do that or not.
Well,
you need to experience the Floribama. You need to experience that.
Yeah, right there on the line. Hey, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings in Boone, Marion, and Baxter County, as well as Benton and Washington counties. They're looking for heavy equipment operators, licensed CDL drivers, diesel mechanics, electricians. If you got experience paving or concrete finishing labor, they're looking to talk to you. Apply online at jobs.crh.com. Top pay from APAC, a sign-on bonus, benefits that include insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer. Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
It's the most wonderful time.
Whoa, Dad,
of
Christmas
the
is
year.
months away. Why are you singing that?
Oh, no, Matt, it's football season. That is the most wonderful time of the year.
You know, your dad's side is approaching legendary status. Anyway, Hog fans, this is Matt.
And this is Robert, a.k.a. Legendary Dad Guy.
Dad, please stop. Folks, he is right, though. It is time for football.
And, Matt, with all the hype surrounding this year's football team, everyone should be loading up on their Hog gear now before it's too late.
And the Stadium Shop on Razorback has all things Razorback.
Yep, whether your needs are for tailgating, game day, man cave decorations, and dorm room stuff. Hey, Matt, you do have your dorm room
Dad,
ready
I
to go,
graduated 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Keep forgetting.
Folks, come and see us at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
We're located at 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. And Matt, I'm going to leave that WWS.
He means our website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com. Or you can call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486. It does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Show your hometown pride with a School Spirit debit card from First Star Bank. Each time you make a purchase with your School Spirit debit card, First Star will make a donation to your school district. You make a purchase, they make a donation. Everyone wins. Support your school with First Star Bank's School Spirit debit card. First Star Bank has donated over $100,000 to local schools through the School Spirit program. Debit cards may be ordered online at firststar.bank.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The biggest sale of the year, the biggest savings of the year are right now during the annual Hot Tub Warehouse sale at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. No one else matches the sales and the service, and boy, service is the key word there, that comes along with a Burton hot tub. They have Hot Springs hot tubs in stock, and Burton's can deliver one to your home this week. So let's talk about savings. Right now, Burton's has up to $4,900 off MSRP and payments as low as $80 a month on a hot spring spa with your approved credit. Hey, don't miss the biggest hot tub warehouse sale of the year. It's going on right now at Burton Pools and Spas. They're in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and you can always visit online at burtonpools.com. It's the hot tub warehouse sale. Burton Pools and Spas. They've been around for more than 44 years. These are the people you can trust. Burton Pools and Spas, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're stuck with the clouds. We'll see occasional showers and thunderstorms today. Our high this afternoon will be in the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Occasional showers and storms with some heavy pockets of rain tonight. Overnight lows in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Start every Saturday with Arkansas Game Day 5 hours before kickoff. Presented by Randall Ford and Bud Light. KERX, Paris Fort Smith.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman, he ain't afraid of no work.
Normally, we would play on a weekend so that we could have a weekend crowd, but Bud Walton is occupied right now with an event all weekend, so we won't even really get in there on Saturday or Sunday to even have a practice. So a little bit out of the ordinary for sure, but it'll give the guys a good opportunity. They'll have to go to class all day on Monday and then go straight from class to shoot around. 8 years I've done college, I've never experienced an exhibition game during a week. It'll be a good learning experience for me as well.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
40-year-old adolescents, felons, power drinkers, and trustees of modern chemistry.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
Were you going to have a party here tonight, son? I don't know what that was all about.
Streaming live from
HitThatLine.com.
That seducer and spoiler must be stopped. He's extremely dangerous.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Arkansas basketball back in action tonight inside of Bud Walton Arena. I know Eric Musselman, his team's excited. I know you're excited about it. You can hear it right here on ESPN Arkansas and HitThatLine.com. No football this past weekend for the Razorbacks. You do have Auburn this week. You open up as a 3.5-point favorite. Want to talk about that and some more SEC action in just a sec.
Got to keep Chuck from saying this, the dunk and the first down tonight. You know, all in one play.
That's right. Fumble, dribble,
all of those things. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone Alliance, they're all there. And they'll give you a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell at Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72, off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
So we were talking about in hour number 2 about the idea if Jimbo Fisher was fired, the buyout situation. Guys, would Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss for Auburn or Texas A&M? Think he'd take both those jobs if given the opportunity?
Tuberville did. He left for
I think
for
he'd go to Auburn. Yeah, I think he'd go to Auburn.
Depends on, here's the thing. If in the back of his mind, the ultimate prize, the ultimate top goal is to be the head coach at Alabama, you don't go to Auburn. So Alabama's never hiring in the Auburn football coach.
I don't know if that's his goal or not.
I don't either. But if it is, that's not the path you take.
The thing that I would think would go through his mind is, can I win a national championship at Ole Miss? Can I win a national championship at Auburn? I think, it's going to be hard either place, but I think it's easier at Auburn than it is at Ole Miss. I think that's why Tuberville left years ago. And I think that's why ultimately, if he was given the opportunity to go to Auburn, I think he'd go.
And when you compare, that you mentioned the A&M job, Ty. Conventional wisdom would have you think that when Texas joins the SEC, the job at A&M just gets harder. Now, I don't know if that'll pan out to be true, but A&M's already proven they can't win a national title, so I wouldn't think it's going to get any easier moving forward at A&M with Texas moving into the league.
Well, it's not going to be easy at Auburn until Saban's gone. Mm-hmm. So, you kind of pick your poison there. I think that, Texas coming into the league will have some effect. Texas is not – I'm just not sure they've hired the right guy, and I say that respectfully to Sarkisian. I don't think he's a bad coach, but I don't know that that's the right guy for their situation there. Texas is okay, but as bad as A&M has been in some people's eyes, if they were to play Texas today, I think that's at best a toss-up. I don't think you can say Texas is better than Texas A&M, even with the Aggies at 3-4. I don't think you can say that. I'm not sure A&M wouldn't beat them even in the condition that they're in. So, they're both better jobs than Ole Miss, but I think that Kiffin and Saban going toe-to-toe, recruiting the Deep South, man, what a battle that would be. That'd be awesome.
You asked that question. I think one of the reasons that Gus wasn't getting hired, amongst other things, is where was he in 2012 and 2013 when Arkansas needed a football coach before they hired Bielema? Arkansas State. I don't think Arkansas boosters, I don't think this fan base would have been okay to us go poach. Even though he has Arkansas ties, I don't think they would have been okay to go poach Arkansas States. And I feel that same way how you just laid out the Auburn job.
I think if it had been anyone but Gus, I'd agree with that. But I think Gus was different.
Yeah.
I think I don't think Bama fans can wrap their minds around potentially at some point in time when Saban does retire that if Kiffin takes that Auburn job, I don't think they can get in line with hiring Auburn's coach.
Well, I'd agree with that, but I don't think that if you're Lane Kiffin that you say, well, I'm not going to take a better job because Alabama might not hire me if I take it. I don't think he'd do that. I think if Auburn offered him the job, I think he'd take it.
So what's the better job? If both are off, if Harson's off, if Jimbo's off, what's the better job between A&M and Auburn? Auburn's had more success this past decade. They won a national championship.
I think it's Auburn.
Auburn's closer to Atlanta. It's closer to Florida. Those are great recruiting grounds, but the other side of the coin is Texas. You're in Texas, one of the best football states in the country. I think it's a coin toss. I think both are great jobs. Some of this, I think, becomes answered when we finally figure out the scheduling formula, Chuck. We know Auburn's going to play Alabama every year. A&M's path from a scheduling standpoint and a new SEC scheduling model might be more attractive.
Well, part of and I know there may be some people that disagree with me on this, but I think a big thing right now that I don't know that there's enough players in Texas, in terms of linemen, offensive line. I just don't see any of those teams down there loading up with what I think, are the old typical Texas type linemen that those high schools used to produce. And I don't look at any of those teams in Texas right now, any of them. I think A&M, as much as they've struggled, still probably the best line of scrimmage team in that state. And I don't know what they're producing down there in terms of linemen, but there's not as many as there used to be. It doesn't seem like, and maybe I'm imagining that. Maybe it's just me, but it doesn't seem like they're producing some of the type linemen that they once did. And I'll tell you, when you go watch an Alabama high school football game, it's not like watching one of these 7-on-7 games in Texas. Yeah. They got tight ends and fullbacks, and they're it's a different type game. And I just don't know if Texas really has the championship recruiting base that a lot of people think they do. There's a lot of schools recruiting the same players in that state. I just think Auburn overall is a better job.
Let's face it, right now, mean, it's pretty obvious TCU's the best football team, not maybe program, but best football team this year in the state of Texas.
Yeah, and they'd be middle of the pack in our league.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
But
that's about where A&M's at right now.
That's
middle of the pack.
Looks like the Big 12.
I mean, I think if TCU was in our league right now, their record would be about like A&M's.
I'd have to do some more research before I'd say one way or another on the offensive.
Have you watched them play?
I'm talking about your point about the offensive and defensive linemen from Texas. For
TCU,
okay. to that point about that's valid. TCU line of scrimmage-wise would get eaten up in this league. I can't disagree with you on that.
I just wonder, is the high school game has been more prolific with the spread and those kind of linemen. We saw Chad Morris come in here and want to slim down linemen because that was more advantageous to an offense that wanted to run the spread. That's predominant in that state. I just wonder if that's the kind of linemen they're producing now that maybe aren't as smash mouth road graders like we've seen 10 years ago.
Well, all I know is that when you look at the Texas teams that play in the Big 12, I don't think any of them are line of scrimmage type teams. And now I'm not saying it's not important. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that they're not physically up front, teams that are going to come into the SEC or go to the Big Ten even and measure up along the lines of scrimmage. And that's what I see predominantly within all of the Texas programs within that state. And I've got to believe, and I may be wrong, but I've got to believe that the style of play and the players that state is producing now has something to do with that.
Let's take a call on this, 877-377-6963. Alex, you had a thought on this Auburn and Ole Miss discussion. Go ahead.
Well, Auburn A&M, wouldn't you think with the recruitment class that A&M just had, that job would look a little more pretty with the current recruits that they've already got there and players they've got talent-wise compared to Auburn, when Auburn's recruiting classes haven't been the best like they have been in the past 3 years under Harsin and then the Malzahn.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. So right now, Auburn, last time I checked, had a horrendous recruiting ranking in this current class. You just brought up the A&M, the number one class in the country. Guys, we saw, at least from the outside looking in, optics showed that a couple coaches looked at this job, looked at the roster, and were like, nope, see ya. We're not doing this. Maybe that is more attractive to coaches than it initially appears for some cases.
Are you talking about the Arkansas job?
Yeah, the idea was the optics that
I understand. But so I'm trying to follow you. You're factoring that into the Auburn job? Is that what you're saying?
What his point is that A&M has a much better roster right now than Auburn, and that's why Alex thinks it's a more attractable job potentially than the Auburn job. And
but Auburn will turn it around in a hurry if they hire the right guy. I mean, you can turn it around there in a hurry if you hire the right guy. You know, A&M, and Tommy kind of brought this up a little bit earlier. Where's this grand tradition all these A&M people talk about? Where is it? I don't remember it. We were in the same league a long time. I don't remember Texas A&M playing for national championships. I don't remember that. I do remember Auburn doing it. I don't remember A&M doing it. My point is I think A&M's kind of lived in a fantasy land. Now, they, in my opinion, the SEC helped Texas A&M a lot when they moved into our league. They'd been little brother for 100 years, and all of a sudden they soared past Texas. And Texas realized we got to get out of this league and we got to get into that one. But Texas, the University of Texas is still the bigger dog than Texas A&M in that state. And I'm just not sure Texas A&M's going to ever be the job that a lot of people think it is.
You know how many Big 12 titles A&M won in their time in the Big 12?
Maybe one.
One in 1998. Beat Kansas State that year. Other than that, they don't even have another division title in the Big 12 to point to. And we know their history in the SEC to this point.
And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna berate him, and I'm not gonna berate Jimbo. It's not like we've beaten him. I mean, let's be honest. It ain't like we've beaten him. So I don't like poking fun at somebody that we hadn't beaten all that much. Just to be real honest about it. But I think that they fancy themselves as being a top 10 program. And there's really nothing in their history to indicate that's true.
What do Arkansas fans fancy ourselves as a football program? I mean, I know it's a lot different question in the 60s and 70s and even in the 80s to some
that's
extent.
a whole different subject. But, I mean, I think I think Arkansas fans fancy themselves as a contender, fancy themselves as a ranked program, top 25 team. I think that, again, when you look at our history, the idea that you're going to go from the bottom of the pack to the top of the pack within even a 3 or 4 year period in our league, there's just nothing to support that's going to happen. But I do think we're on the right track, and I think expectations have been raised, and I think that's good. But to answer your question, I think Razorback fans fancy themselves as a ranked program that's got an opportunity to contend.
There's always the debate: is this a football state or a basketball state? Football or basketball? I think it's varied based on the success of the program on the Hill and how it's doing. I think in the 90s this was much more of a basketball state, but we look at it from the standpoint of, or I look at it rather, I should say, from the standpoint of the homegrown in-state talent. Where is there more of a success to point at? And there's no question it's basketball players. We were talking earlier about two Fort Smith kids that are now playing with the Oklahoma City Thunder. There's like 8 different Arkansas homegrown kids playing in the NBA. You can't point to really that many. Yeah, it'd be baseball next and then football third, I would guess.
Yeah, probably so. I think it varies season to season. I mean, I think when football's going well and we're in football season, we're a football state. And I think when basketball season rolls around, if we're good, we're a basketball state. And Dave Van Horn will tell you, I thought we were a baseball school. So all of them can say that. But we produced a lot of pros in basketball, and we produce pros in football. You got a lot more roster spots in football, and harder sometimes to make an NBA roster. But we've had our share, that's for sure.
One of the guys going to be playing tonight in the exhibition game is Anthony Black, 5-star recruit. You can meet Anthony this week if you want to at Alma Tractor and Equipment. They're at 35 Highway 71 in Alma. It is right there at the intersection between 64 and 71. You can't miss it. He's going to be there October the 25th from 3:30 to 5. You can check out their entire line of bad boy tractors and mowers and meet Anthony, get pictures, get autographs, all of that stuff. And it's time to start thinking about a new mower for next season. So mark your calendars for tomorrow, October 25th. Meet Anthony Black at Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma at the junction of Highway 71 and 64. That's Alma Tractor and Equipment. Anthony Black will be there tomorrow from 3:30 till 5.
Robert wanted to share his thoughts on this kind of conversation. Go ahead, Robert.
Real quick, guys, the only thing I've ever known A&M is R.C. Slocum 8-4 Cotton Bowl. Kind of like y'all talking about. It's nothing really great has come out of that place. They just, like y'all said, though, bunch of egos,
They were good when they had the wrecking crew, but that was not a team that was going to win the national championship. I mean, they were really good, and I'm not knocking them. And I know they were in the conversation, but you're right, and that's been, 40 years ago almost now.
All right, guys, have a good morning.
Appreciate it, Robert.
I mean, they were good all through the 80s, and I'm not taking anything away from R.C. Slocum. I mean, those were good teams. They were physical teams, and at least in my lifetime, that's the best run they've had. And I'm talking about run. I'm not talking about season necessarily, but that's the best run they've had. But, even then, they were not a team that people spoke of in terms of winning the national championship.
They still haven't been, and it's not just in that, but in football. Now, maybe you're really high on Schlossnagle, right, Chuck? You think that's
I think Schlossnagle's a very good coach, yes.
That's the guy that can do something down there in College Station in terms of putting a program there on the national scale. But, yeah, that's something to think about with these. We're talking about hirings and firings. I think there's a good chance that Brian Harsin, maybe Jimbo, and Drinkwitz. Guys, what are the odds that all three of them are let go? Drink.
We've seen years with four changes in this league. And then oftentimes a change somewhere else will create a change elsewhere in your league. So the domino effect will kick in, Chuck.
Well, I'll tell you what's changed is here we are in the middle of October, and it's already coach hunting season. I mean, that's what's changed is guys getting fired in season. And, you know, again, Harson's obituary has been written every Friday night, you know, for the last 2 months. And I think that's what's changed is, you know, guys don't even get a chance to finish out the season anymore. And you know, again, we're already into coach hunting season.
Well, when you sign your class in mid-December, December 20th-ish every year, you know, you got to be ready to move quick if you're the AD and not lose an entire recruiting cycle.
I know. I understand, but I just think it's gotten crazy. I mean, it's just gotten nuts. I mean, but that's the landscape that we live in now.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be really tough on coaches in December as they're preparing. I guess you have more time because there's more time in between the regular season, last ending game, and then the bowl game. But it's just tough on them in that point, I think.
Well, I think you got to think about the kids at some point in all this. I mean, when you fire a coach in the middle of the season, you're telling the kids that play on that team you don't matter anymore. We're willing to throw everything away for the rest of this year, drop back and regroup. You don't matter as much as we told you you did. That to me is one of the things that gets lost in all this. Is I mean, these kids are out there doing it every day. While we're sitting here talking about it, they're out there doing it. And for us, coach hunting's just sport. I mean, it's just sport, something for us to talk about. But I think you're telling those kids when you do that, you don't matter to us anymore.
Doesn't exactly live up to the mission statement of the athletic department.
They tell you that you do.
Yeah.
They tell you that you do. And look, some firings are inevitable. I'm not naive. I understand how all that works. But I think the kids get lost in all of this sometimes and how it affects them, how it affects their careers. I think a lot of that stuff goes in, and you said it when you used the term mission there.
Yeah.
I know that the mission statement was thrown out the window a long time ago. I mean, I understand all that. Again, I'm not naive, but I think that that's one of those things that gets lost in all of these discussions.
They'll roll that out at a fundraising opportunity. Oh, it's about the 450 student athletes and how we can benefit them, and it's all about that, and oftentimes it doesn't come back.
Is there a way to mitigate that? It's not like you can have a time period kind of like the transfer portal. Well, you can't fire a coach during this duration.
No.
Yeah, change the early sign period.
Everybody's got to run it the way they want to run it. I mean, you know, everybody's got to do it the way they want to do it.
To win, Tommy.
I'd change it to August 15th. I'd change it to before the high school football season. Now, I know there's coaches against it, and they're afraid those kids will take a year off, and what about this, and what about that? Most of these kids already know in August where they want to sign in December. That's what I'd do, but
I would think that would focus them more on their high school season.
Maybe. That's what I'd do, and that'd mitigate some of this circumstance. Hey, Arvest Bank is ready to help. They're an equal housing lender. They've been around since 1961 when it all began as the Bank of Bentonville. Right then, that day, they put a commitment to putting the customer's needs first. How about mission statements? Theirs has not changed since 1961. Whether it's the small bank in a small town to a regional bank with a 4-state footprint that they are now, they've always put the customer first. That's Arvest Bank since 1961. Committed to putting the needs of customers first. Arvest Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, when we come back, we'll hear what Matt Jones thinks about this basketball team.
ESPN Arkansas is headed behind.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch.
big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code HTL at nohouseadvantage.com, or download the app on the app stores to get a first deposit match of up to $25. Make sure to check out No House Advantage today and experience daily fantasy sports redefined, because it's not just how you play, but where you play. You won't want to miss out on this. nohouseadvantage.com, promo code HTL.
Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Now, how many times in your life have you written an email to somebody or sent a text to someone and you've hit send and 2 seconds later you thought, I wish I hadn't done that?
I can see both of you typing out text or emails but not sending them.
My problem, Ty, is I usually send them, and that's what gets you in trouble.
Now, for some of you, this will be the first time you get a chance to watch this basketball team if you didn't pay for the Flow Sports subscription when they were on the Euro trip. Now, the only way you can watch it is if you go attend it in Bud Walton Arena tonight. You can also listen right here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
They pretty well opened it up where anybody can go. They didn't assign seats, right? So they want everybody to kind of fill the lower bowl first and try to make it as imposing as possible. So I think anyone that kind of wants to go tonight will certainly have a chance. It's kind of catch-up weekend for a lot of people. I know without the Hogs playing, you weren't hemmed into a lot of things time-wise. So for me, it was getting some things done in the backyard. One of those things I had to get done was getting my hot tub kind of drained, refilled, get all that kind of balanced out for the fall. And right now is a great time. You've been thinking, this weather's starting to cool off, and talk about easy to take care of. You talk about relaxing. Particularly after a workout or you went for a jog or a walk or whatever, makes your muscles feel better. That's a hot spring spa from Burton Pools and Spas. For a few more days, they got savings as much as $4,900 off and payments as low as $80 a month. So if you'd like to enjoy a hot tub in the privacy of your own home and start and end your day with a great way to relax your muscles and just feel better, reduce stress, a hot spring spa is the way to go. Here's what I'd recommend. Go to burtonpools.com. You can click on spas there. You can look at all the hot tubs in the Hot Springs lineup, see the different models and designs that they have available, and then check it out during the warehouse sale. Burton Pools and Spas, Springdale, and in Fort Smith, where you can get your feet wet without getting in over your head.
Chuck, you were talking with Matt Jones on the latest edition of the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. Here is how he described this basketball team.
We have a good mix, but the thing that jumps out is that athleticism. I think we're going to possibly be the most athletic team, and that hurt us last year a little bit inside. We wouldn't win the rebounding battle. We're going to turn that around this year.
That's what you referred to against Duke, against Baylor, not having the size, and that's what Matt really likes about this team.
And these are athletic guys, too. I mean, they're not just, space eaters. I mean, these are athletic guys, and I think they're going to be able to compete above the rim, and I think you'll see that help them defensively. This team's long. I mean, they're big, they're long. I mean, it's going to be hard for other teams to score, I think, before this season's over.
Your shortest guy is 6'3", Darian Ford, according to the roster. Your shortest guy is 6'3", on this basketball team.
I'm not sure if he's fully 6'3".
Actually, that's what I'm saying. That's why
only reason is because I know I'm not 6'3", and he is taller than me, but he didn't look to me like 6'3" in practice that day. But we know how the basketball height equation sometimes work.
One of the things that I think is going to be one of the things to watch as we move through the year, particularly when Anthony Black's defending the point, is how far out can they extend the other team's offense? How difficult is it for them to get into their offense? Where between the circles are they getting into their offense? How far out on the wing do they have to pass the ball? There are lots of things that I think guys like Black and the other guys with that length, I think all of them are going to be able to cause a lot of problems in that area.
Can Arkansas play the brand of defense Eric Musselman wants to play without fouling? Avoiding foul trouble is another big deal with this team when you generally want to go 7 or 8 deep. So, Chuck, can they play that menacing defense and do it early and defend the 3 and not get in foul trouble this year?
Well, I mean, that's always the question. Can you defend without fouling? We're going to find out. There's all these guys, I can tell you, if you can't play defense, Muss is not going to, by the end of the year, you're not going to be out there. Doesn't mean you won't play some early, but in the critical games, you're not going to be out there if you can't play defense. And part of that's playing defense without fouling.
To me, understanding a coach's philosophy on defense was always difficult more than it was offense. Offense, you just run a set. You know where to set a screen. You know where to drive. You know what to do. And I think for a lot of these guys, they would tell you transitioning from high school and AAU ball to college, it's more difficult to pick up on the rotations, the assignments defensively. And with Arkansas, at least they run man 99% of the time. They run zone
Not a lot of
like a second it's during must. But there's a lot of things that are different about the pick and rolls, the various things that they have to learn with this Eric Musselman coach defense.
No, you're right. I mean, learning to play defense at this level is, all those things you talked about are part of it. And, that's going to be a work in progress. It's not just, defense is not just an individual game either. So, that's you got to defend, you got to guard.
3 years ago, they were the number one team in the country in three-point defense. They took a step back in last couple years. I don't know if they'll be the number one, but that length y'all keep talking about, deflections, block shots, various things, or just the contesting, I think it's just going to be hard to score on this team this year if they pan out.
I mean, could be. I don't get caught up in are they number one in the country against this or that. I mean, I don't pay much attention to that, to be honest with you. But I think they'll be able to defend all over the floor. I'll put it that way.
It's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. It's all at Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Chuck, 6:30 tonight. Hear it right here on every one of these stations you're listening to now. Your first broadcast of the year for the basketball team.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be fun to be there, and we're not going to Austin because we're going to Auburn on Saturday, so this will be our exhibition game before the season opener in a couple weeks.
A big week for Razorback sports to have that bye week, and now to be have this multiple games this week for Arkansas basketball, and then for Razorback football to play an injury in there. It's going to be a good week. All right, when we come back, it's your SEC update.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It's time for the Burton Pools and Spas annual hot tub warehouse sale. With over 8,000 spas sold, no one else matches the sales and service that comes with a Burton hot tub. We have hot spring hot tubs in stock and ready to deliver, and they're all on sale. You'll save up to $4,900 off MSRP with payments as low as $80 a month with approved credit. Don't miss the biggest hot tub warehouse sale of the year going on now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith. Visit burtonpools.com for more information.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. Go Paschal.com.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best.
football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
At Frank World Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down. And no sales tax. In-store no credit check financing. Family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank World Furniture. Best seats in the house.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
We want to welcome you to Rose One Stop Bait and Tackle at 612 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. We are your one-stop store for all your needs. We carry Petty Jean meat products, the official ham and bacon of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Give us a call and pre-order your party or tailgate party meat and vegetable trays to pick up on your way to the game. Call us at 479-452-2444 and we will have it ready. Rose One Stop, the best little one-stop in the River Valley.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Ashley Air. Keeping your home comfortable is what they do best. Trust them with your heating and cooling needs. Go to AshleyAir.com to request service today.
LSU had a big second half to overcome Ole Miss in Death Valley on Saturday. Did you find it weird they stormed the field? Had to pay a $250,000 fine. I think it was a third offense, if I remember that right. I just thought that was a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, that seems beneath them, honestly, at this point with the tradition and the championships and the seasons they've had in recent enough time. So, yeah, I mean, they've won, 3 national titles since 03?
Correct.
Yeah, that was Saban's year. So
Saban 03, less 06. And then
doesn't seem like a program who's won 3 in the last 20 that needs to be doing that.
Yeah.
Especially for beating Ole Miss. But we undervalue and underrate the Ole Miss LSU rivalry. We don't really, because we focus on Bama LSU, and that's really maybe their biggest rival for LSU traditionally.
Second longest, Magnolia Bowl, second longest played, I think, behind Auburn, Georgia, if I remember that right. It's been played since the 1800s.
We focus so much in recent years on LSU, Alabama, and that's not as much a rivalry as it has just been a game of consequence, and has made it a rivalry game. But really, Ole Miss and LSU, they hate each other along that state line. We forget about that.
That game's played in 2 weeks. Both teams, both Alabama and LSU, will have a bye this week before they battle in Death Valley. Should be a fun one. Other games this weekend, Tennessee did not have a lapse. They beat UT Martin 65-24. Maybe the worst game of the day. Missouri beat Vanderbilt 17-14. Vandy had a chance to win late. They just couldn't do it.
Didn't watch a lot of that one because it was in the middle of the afternoon and the Ole Miss LSU game was on, so I really paid a lot more attention to that. Tennessee, back up to that game a second. I expected a first quarter lull at least. I thought they'd win. They put the hammer down from the get-go. I mean, it was like 52-3 or 52-7, something like that in the first half. They scored 52 first half points. So they had to let off the throttle a little bit in the second half.
Are we going to have a Mac Jones, Devontae Smith type of debate if season's in? If Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt keep doing what they're doing, both putting up insane numbers this year. I was happy to see Devontae win the Heisman Trophy a couple years ago. I thought he deserved it more than Mac did. Is that a debate? Are they both in New York for that Heisman Trophy presentation, especially if they beat Georgia in 2 weeks?
You know, with the way Bryce Young probably has not lived up to that level, how many are they going to take? 4, no more than 5 up there? Yeah, I could see that. But it's really a bad deal for Hooker if that happens because you want one of them to win it. You don't want 2 players on the same team to split the vote. Mm-hmm. And that's the issue you might have is you end up letting Stroud win the thing based on if they beat Michigan and some of those things, because if voters in that particular region split the vote with 2 Tennessee players, that would really leave Tennessee probably out in the cold.
That's really the biggest competitor right now against Hooker and against Hyatt is C.J. Stroud, quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Really, Caleb Williams and company, they lost to Utah 2 weeks ago. Bryce Young with the injury, not that he hasn't been fabulous in the games that he's played. Even the Tennessee game, he was great. They just haven't had the same national attention on him. We know how hard it is to go back-to-back as a Heisman Trophy guy.
You hadn't seen it in your lifetime, and I think it happened when I was in diapers still. So, I mean, it goes back to the 70s. So, but don't forget Bryce Young, Alabama's national television allure and the glamour of that program. He's a couple of good performances, and one coming off the bye against LSU, and he finishes strong down the stretch. They end up in Atlanta. They beat Georgia. Don't completely rule Bryce Young out of this equation yet.
Yeah, I would say that's
he's not
fair.
Likely, but I wouldn't rule him out at this
100%.
point. I mean, Tennessee's one loss away from bringing him right back in the conversation front and center.
They win 30-6 against Mississippi State at home in the other SEC game. A lot of teams on byes this week. The other SEC game, South Carolina defeats Texas A&M in Columbia. They win by a score of 30-24. So that was kind of the big things. Some other news. Mike Leach, after his loss, not too happy, comparing his wide receivers to dinosaurs.
And I'm genuinely fearful that on our team, if me and the other coaches don't get them right, that about a generation from now, their kids and their grandkids won't have hands. From a lack of use, those hands just disappear. You got like a Tyrannosaurus Rex who's clearly good at eating things, big old jaws and all that stuff, fairly athletic, can run, that it's going to be best for all these guys that they have good hand development and that they don't evolve to where they don't have hands.
He's talking about his wide receivers in this question.
He always comes up with some buttes there on the analogies.
Yeah, it was funny. Former Mississippi State quarterback Dak Prescott played for the Dallas Cowboys first time since week number 1. He got asked about his thumb. Here's what he had to say.
I felt comfortable with everything. Thumb definitely didn't bother me. Wasn't a thought in my head. Felt like after a few throws, I was back into it. That drive before halftime, I felt like I made a few that just said, hey, we're good to go. Don't think about anything again. And yeah, so I felt fine, but this is about the team. This is a great team win. This is what I've been watching for the last 5 weeks, this defense, the special teams, just us playing complementary football, and it was just it's just great to be back and be a part of it.
Dallas Cowboys back in the win column again. NFC East, man, it's tough. Giants 6-1. Eagles haven't lost yet. They had a bye this week. That game's going to be awfully important Thanksgiving Day in AT&T Stadium.
Well, you got to get Dallas to the point. Dak has to get that offense to the point where they're scoring 35, 40 points a game. They won 24-6. Their defense won in that game against a good team. You're not going to win very many games, even when Dallas's defense scoring in the 20s. So this is still a game where you got to put some touchdowns in the end zone. And they were rusty early. We'll see what they come out and do next. But Dallas has got a ways to go to win that division, make the playoffs, and then make any noise in the playoffs. They're nowhere near that level right now. All right, that's your SEC update. It's brought to you by Ashley Air. The colder weather has already been here once. It's coming back again. Is your heater ready? You turned it on the other day and it had that smell, but it didn't really heat the home. It's time to get your fall tune-up from Ashley Air. It's only $69. And then get your home ready to be nice and toasty on those colder days that are just around the corner. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Go to AshleyAir.com to schedule yours. That's AshleyAir.com, proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Couple things to keep in mind later on this afternoon. Sam Pittman will be meeting with the media at 12 o'clock. We'll also get the Liberty game time from the SEC office in between 11:30 and 12. You'll hear that later in halftime. We're asking the question, will Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss for the Auburn or Texas A&M job? The other question needs to be factored into that is, does Hugh Freeze get either of those jobs if they come open? Liberty right now, either 6 or 7-1, they just crushed BYU, and they might be ranked when they come into Fayetteville in 2 weeks.
Well,
is he up for either of those jobs?
It seemed like in the past the league office kind of put the kibosh on him getting any of those jobs. They seem to take a hard line against it and blackballed him, if you will, out of the league. So I don't know. I mean, Hugh Freeze is going to coach somewhere other than Liberty, but could it be in the Big 12? Could it be an ACC job? I don't know. It seems like the SEC and Greg Sankey didn't have a lot to move him back in the league, a lot of desire to move him back in the league, even as a coordinator before he took that Liberty job. So right now, Ty, I'd say probably not, unless he's somehow mended fences with Greg Sankey.
I don't know how long that's going to last if that's still the case, right? When is the forgiveness going to happen? What does he
when
have
is
to
an
do?
AD going to be willing to go against what the league wants? And maybe the league has dropped it. Maybe they let bygones be bygones and move on. But it was embarrassing for the league with everything that kind of went on in addition to the NCAA stuff with the burner phone and all of the calls and everything got tracked down. We know what happened at Ole Miss. So, are they over that now in Birmingham, or is he still on the naughty list with Greg Sankey?
Sankey's never going to come out publicly and say that.
No.
I think he's been asked about it, and he said, I'm pretty sure he said, and I'm paraphrasing, I haven't done anything to prevent him from coaching, but that's the public saying.
It's pretty obvious he couldn't get just a coordinator's job in this league when he was more than qualified. So I guess he needs to go to the Saban School of Coaches Rehab, and become an analyst at Alabama. That seems like where all coaches with problems go to get the problems
Nick
healed.
Saban, do you want him to go to learn more and then come back and use that against you?
He's already seemed to discriminate on bringing anybody into the fold there as an analyst.
We got to remember, of any coach in this league in the past decade, the guy that's had the most success against Saban is Hugh Freeze. It's not Gus Malzahn. It's not Les Miles. It's been Hugh Freeze. Gus beat him in 2013. He beat him in 2017, and he beat him in 2019, if memory serves me correct. Hugh beat him back-to-back years, 2014, 2015. They should have beat him in 2016, too, but they lost thanks to Jalen Hurts and company. Hugh Freeze knows how to beat Alabama. Auburn, what does Auburn love to do? They love beating Alabama. I think he's going to be seriously considered for that job if it comes open, which we all think it's going to at the end of the year.
Oh, it is. It's just a matter of what week in the next month does that happen. I kind of agree with Chuck. They'll pull the trigger before the Iron Bowl, and that way there's no chance of a resurgence or a, let's give him one more year kind of sentimental, nostalgic type of feeling, even though he's only been there a couple of years. You beat Alabama, people start to gloss over some things. I don't think the Auburn Brass want that. Speaking of Auburn, you're going to be on the Plains later this week. You're going to be at Byron's Smokehouse on Friday morning. They have a good breakfast there, great barbecue. You'll be there at 6 a.m. on Friday.
Bright and early, man. I'm excited. I have looked forward to this trip all summer. This is a great place to watch a college football game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun getting down there.
Also brought to you on our trip by Ag Equipment, Ag Up Equipment. Ag Up Equipment is celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. They have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. Find them at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer. They don't sell maybe at Ag Up. And by First Community Bank in Batesville, Arkansas, where community comes first. First Community Bank has 32 locations across Arkansas and in southern Missouri to serve you.
Layden Pugh's the owner of Ag Up. He sent me a Ag Up Hogs by 90 sweater vest. So I'm going to be sporting that on Friday. I'm really excited about this weekend. This is a trip that I have heard about from a couple of my relatives who are either Alabama or Auburn fans, and trying to eliminate and doing a variety of other things. It's a pretty decent drive. It's about 10.5 from Fayetteville, but we're going to fly into Atlanta and make the trek over. It's about an hour and a half from that, so I'm really excited about that.
That'll be a good trip, and there's a lot of good spots. That's got a real college town feel.
Mm-hmm.
The square, the whole bit, Toomer's Corner, all of those things, the traditions there. I want to go. Maybe I'll go the next time they play down there because I want to see the eagle fly. I want to see all that stuff. It's just part of the SEC tradition in the South.
Part of the culture. I just got a text from my buddy Curtis Wilkerson of Hog Sports. Just a reminder, and I don't think the U of A's put out a lot of press release. Game tonight against Rogers State is here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. It's not on television, but you can listen right here on these radio stations in addition to hitthatline.com. For Tommy Kraft, Chuck Barrett, I'm Ty Richardson. Hope everyone has a good rest of your Hot Take Monday.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas.